time. One guy who's been here throughout, from day one right until, we won't say day last, but right until now, is out the ice tonight, Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky played the last WHA game, and that was a game that the Winnipeg Jets won the ABCO Trophy over the Edmonton Oilers. Gary Smith was in net, deep right down at the other end, and Wayne Gretzky has fond memories of that.
You know, where the Winnipeg Jets are concerned, this runs out the season, but for the Los Angeles Kings, there could be something lying in the offing if they are successful tonight.
They have to win both games to ensure that they make the playoffs. If they win and tie, they have to count on the Vancouver Canucks going into San Jose and beating San Jose. San Jose with that one game remaining. LA's got two. They play in Chicago tomorrow night. So you can't. LA has to win both games.
It's going to be interesting to see what do you expect in a game like this? You know LA has to give it all. What about the Jets? What are their thoughts coming into one like this?
A game like this, they owe it to their fans, and they know they owe it to their fans to play well, and they'll be much looser. You have that big playoff drive. Now it's over. They can play, have some fun.
So it's the Winnipeg Jets and the Los Angeles Kings coming up live on CKND Winnipeg TV. Is it goodbye to the Winnipeg Jets for the season? Is it goodbye to the Winnipeg Jets? In goal for the Los Angeles Kings is the veteran Kelly Hrudey. 13 wins, 13 defeats, 5 ties, a goals against a 3.21. The guy they've been counting on all year. And when things were tough, Hrudey was sharp. In goal for the Winnipeg Jets, Tim Shovelday. 8 wins, 15 losses, ties, and a 3.77 goals against average. The head man tonight is Kerry Fraser, and the linesman Mark Wheeler and Andy McKelman. The Winnipeg Jets and the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings still fighting for the playoff spot. Must win the remaining games, or at least get a win and a tie, and hope that the San Jose Sharks are not successful tomorrow night when they're at home against the Vancouver Canucks. The Kings go from here to Chicago to play tomorrow night.
Rick Tocchet is starting with Wayne Gretzky and Eric Lacroix. Tocchet is battling his back problems. He can hardly stand up. There's Eric Lacroix playing with Wayne Gretzky. Lacroix banged up. He's had the broken nose. Tocchet's on the other wing, and Tocchet has really had the back problem.
So Mike Eastwood and Wayne Gretzky set to get things underway. Eastwood pulls it back to Quintal, hands to Newman. Newman looks. It goes all the way down the ice. Emerson busts after it along with Lacroix. Emerson trying to reach for it. Eastwood gets in there as well. Eastwood against Lacroix. Now Tkachuk moves in and takes it. Here's Tkachuk trying to move to the front. Gets it back to Quintal. Quintal out and back in. It's offside, Winnipeg.
Extra bodies around for both teams. The LA Kings, Tony Granato has that broken foot. He's the big one. Their tough guy, Matt Johnson, not dressing. And Rob Cowie out for the Kings. Winnipeg Jets, lots of extra people around. Neil Wilkinson injured, not playing. And that Darren Shannon injury, you know, people talk about the Jets and their problems. Darren Shannon was playing very well when he got hurt. And I think that had a big effect on the Winnipeg Jets. They lost almost an entire line when Shannon went down.
Timo Solani out there now. It had been doubtful as of this morning that he would play tonight because of the knee. Here's Curry. Stopped there by Darryl Shannon, who gives it to Korolev. Ahead now to Solani. Solani trying to break through. Goes to the outside against McSorley. Solani shot. Rudy the save. Now Blake puts it to the corner. Blake against Korolev. It's left back there now. Long in behind the goal. Over to Conacher. Around for Curry. Has to go back for it. Korolev with an eye on him. Curry cuts in front. Lost possession. Shamnov slides it over. Kept in by Thompson. Knocked out by Blake. Here come the Kings. 3-on-2. Now Curry gets it back for Long. Long caught up to by Shamnov. It goes loose to Conacher. Conacher goes. Curry scores! Here Curry at open net.
Looked like Wayne Gretzky throwing that one across to Jari Kurri, and Tim Cheveldae is not pleased. It's a 3-on-2, and then it's a 3-on-3. Shamnov does his job, and then Daryl Shannon gets tied up. Everybody goes to Pat Conacher. Wide open is Jari Kurri on the other side of the ice. The Jets get mesmerized by Pat Conacher. 4 Jets, 5 Jets on the one side of the ice. Jari Kurri all by himself.
So it's 1-0 Kings. 1:08 into the opening period. Here's Manson. Manson chased by Perrault. Gets it out to center ice. Stopped there by Petit. He puts it down into Jet territory. Cheveldae shovels it around for Drake. Quinn ties up Drake now. Drake manages to escape. Looks for room up the right side. Got it over to Manson. Ahead to King. King fans on it. Now Petit with it for Los Angeles. Gets it back to Sigurov in front of his goal. Back to Petit, back to Sigurov. Ahead for Bruce. Knocked into Jet territory. Cheveldae. Ahead to Olczyk. Over to Manson. Manson looks ahead. Here's Gillen. Has it at the line. Gillen dumps it in. Now Todd and Drake go after it. Drake behind the goal. Drake trying to work it free. Here's Burridge. Stopped by Daryl Shannon. Puts it deep in the corner. Now Olczyk in behind the net. He's bumped there by Still. Up! The shot by Drake. Save. Rudy. Rebound. Another save, and Rudy smothers it.
Couple of good stops by Kelly Rudy, and you wonder, former goaltender Rogie Vachon, what he's doing with his goaltending. Kelly Rudy has been their main man all year. A couple of good saves, stand up, another good save, and he covers the rebound. But then after Kelly Rudy had beaten Detroit, he lost 4-0 in San Jose, so they came back with Grant Fuhr in the last game. Rudy makes a save and covers up. And Fuhr won 2-1. I was surprised that Grant Fuhr wasn't playing again tonight.
Here's Thompson, dumps it in deep. McSorley behind his goal for the Kings. McSorley's pass out to center ice. That goes out the stick of Burridge. He's tied up by Thompson. And back to Kennedy Shannon. Shannon in the corner with Todd. Now Todd comes up with a puck. Trying to put it in front at the side of the net with it. Thompson around now for Olczyk. Olczyk nearly got a 2-on-1 with Martin. Had it knocked away. It goes back into Jet territory. And with it is Thompson. Cuts in front and just poked it away from Todd. Now with it is Burridge. Burridge looks for Crowder. Check. And Olczyk starts away for Winnipeg with Martin. Olczyk gains the lock. Dumps it in. Craig Martin goes after it. Puts it Dave Snell with it there for Los Angeles. Chased by Olczyk. It's knocked behind the net. Eastwood. Tied up by Petit. Eastwood trying to knock it loose. The puck does go to Todd, and he just clears it away. Cheveldae to Newman. Into the middle now for Eastwood. Back to Newman. In front. The shot knocked down. And starting back is Gretzky. He moves to center against Newman. Puts it across now. It's centered, knocked out by Newman, and now Gretzky again. They'll put it to the side of the net. And Newman in ahead for Tkachuk with Emerson. Tkachuk gets to the Kings line, dropped to Emerson. He's shot blocked by Petit. Petit puts it over. Snell had his pass picked off by Eastwood. Back here's Emerson trying to pass. And the pass is through 2 rather than shoot at 1. Here's Quintal. He puts it in deep. Eastwood in behind the goal. Eastwood to the corner, looks back, gives it to Emerson. Emerson forced by Sador, trying to beat Korolev. It's in behind the net. Emerson takes it to the corner. Puts it back to Korolev. Watched by Sador. Into Eastwood. Emerson cruises to the front. Eastwood fights his way, gives it to Korolev. Korolev watched by Sador. Now Korolev centers it. Tocchet over skates, but following up is Lacroix. Dumped it into the jet zone. And Chevrolet for Newman. Around for Solani. Solani rink wide. Korolev to the Kings line. Jamnov moves in with him. Korolev against Blake. Blake knocked it free. And now Brown to Solani. Back to Brown. And he dumps it in. 1-0. The Kings lead the Jets nearing the 5-minute mark of the opening period. Here's McSorley to Blake to Conacher. Conacher moves to the jet line, goes outside trying to beat Brown. Brown wraps him up, puck rolls in behind. Manson goes there for it. Manson to Brown. Ahead for Solani. Looking for Korolev, can't get it to him. Curry, who scored the goal, dumps it back in. And with it is Manson. Manson for Jamnov. Jamnov had 5 goals the last time these clubs met. And a 1-up tie. 7-7. Conacher. Wrapped up. Now the puck goes free. Now it goes to Drews. Drews gains the jet line. Drews stops. He lets it go. And it goes off Manson. And it's a souvenir. This is Olsen Telecat.
The BF Goodrich TA Performance Radio now gives you more performance than ever. Thanks to up-to-the-minute G-Wedge technology, it delivers exceptional road handling control in even the tightest turns. The BF Goodrich TA Radio. Nothing stops it from performing. Well, almost nothing.
Have you had your break today? We all need to get away. There's one place that's on your way. McDonald's is your break today. Have you had your break today? Easy times is McDonald's way. It's the place of smiling days. Have you had your break today?
Radio station, local station, has some signs in the seats. We love our Jets, and these fans have loved the Jets throughout the WHA, throughout the NHL. It will be too bad if the Jets are no longer after this game tonight.
Here's Quinn with it. Quinn trying to put it in for Pate. It goes by him to Manson. Ahead now for King. King slides the pass into the middle. Grabbed there by Gillen. Gillen moves in with Drake. Drake takes the pass, throws it out in front. It rolls to the corner, and now King with it. King trying to muscle it by Drews. Drews knocked it loose. It goes to Quinn, checked by Drake. And now Snell. Let it go. Brown can't get by Drews. The former Jet busy on Drews. Busy on Brown, and it's dumped all the way down the ice. And going back to get it is Michel Pate. Now there's all kind of talk and on his strip. Some of that is Joe Pate.
Elaine, what are your thoughts this evening?
My thoughts are very sad. If this team goes, there's going to be a lot of people out of work. We're going to lose a great team. This is a young team. This is a team that's going to go lots of places. And it's just so sad. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do.
Lots of people out of work. She's right there. And how about the building of a new arena, the jobs that would create? I'm not going to believe that they're going to go until it's official, the stamp's on, and they're out of here.
1-0. The Kings lead it in the first period. Here's Holcheck, flips it out over center, and all the way down into Kings territory. Back for it goes Snell. 6.5 gone in the opening period. A packed house, many of them clad in white at the Winnipeg Arena. Here's Thompson. Over to Gerald Shannon, the only Shannon dressed again tonight. He dumps it all the way down the ice. Rudy sends it outside the line, and going back to get it is Shannon. Todd, a Winnipegger, chases him. Now it's left there for Quintal to Martin. Craig Martin looks ahead to Shannon. Shannon moves it towards center. Gives it there to Rob Murray. He fires it in. Rudy behind the goal. Martin goes in after it. Knocks it to the corner. Now Shannon trying to hold it at the line, but it was offside. So it's just over 7 minutes into the opening period. It's 1-0 Los Angeles.
She's of average
average height and average weight. Yet, there's absolutely nothing average about her. She's what happens when a company believes safety isn't one thing, it's everything. And she is the first and only crash test dummy with that special glow. The company is General Motors.
All the fun of Monopoly is back at McDonald's. You could win.
$1 million?
It's bigger and better than last time with $10 million in prizes to be won. It's super-sized excitement. You could win a Dodge Viper, shopping sprees, cruises,
Sega Game Gear with Sonic Triple Trouble.
Get 2 chances to win when you buy any of these favorites. You could win big instantly or collect a Monopoly and win. So go directly to McDonald's and play the Monopoly game.
Have you had your break today?
Well, it's your last chance to win with the Jet Special Edition lineup program. Remember to register your program number before 9 o'clock by calling the contest line found in today's Winnipeg Sun. You could win a Viper car, security system from Crazy Crazy, gift certificates from Powerland and HMV, an autographed Jets jersey, and the grand prize of a pair of Jets season tickets, which we hope you can use someday. During the third period, we'll announce the winning program numbers. Brought to you by the Winnipeg Jets, the Sun, and Winnipeg TV's CKND. Now Gretzky dumps it down into the Jet zone. After it there is Newman. Around for Emerson. The Jets found away. Here's Eastwood. Up to center ice. Gains the line. Looks back for Kachuk. Kachuk has to wait. To Emerson. A shot wide. Now back with it. Sigurov. Trying to clear. Stopped by Kintal. Kintal in front. Emerson couldn't redirect. Now Gretzky with it for the Kings. Moves out to center ice. With Blake. The pass goes off the stick of Blake. And into the second row. And once again, running around targeting people, here's Joe Vespucci.
John, this could be the last game for the Winnipeg Jets here in Winnipeg. What are the emotions you're feeling tonight?
You know what? I think this is one of the saddest days in Winnipeg. Ever since 1972, I have been a Jets fan. I guess I was 4 years old at the time in 72. And it's just very frustrating for me, I really think, because there's nothing that's going to keep me here. I'm not married. I don't have kids. And this is one of the things that keep young people in this city is the entertainment like the Jets and so on. I just really hope they can work it out. And I don't know, it's very emotional, as you can see all the signs outside and so on.
Now play resumes. The puck is in the Los Angeles zone, sent out over center ice. And with it there's Manson. A hit for Solani. Solani tried for Korolev. It goes behind him. Jamnov follows up. Jamnov for Korolev. Back to the point. With it now Manson. He just dumped it into the corner. Rudy sticks it into that corner again. Korolev comes up with it. Throws it back toward the blue line. Manson in front. Here's Solani. Shot Rudy. Solani wraparound. Good hit from Jamnov. And Jamnov had his stick wrapped up by Curry and couldn't get a shot away.
Good pressure by the Jets. Defensive job by Yari Curry. Great save by Kelly Rudy on Teemu Solani to start this play. Manson, the good touch pass. Solani all by himself. Rudy makes the original save and then flops across. Curry ties up Jamnov stick on stick. And he makes sure that Jamnov can't get to that rebound. The first save, and then Rudy starts his flopping routine. Makes the second save, and Curry does the rest. Good defensive forward. Always plays strong in his own zone. Yari Curry back doing the job on Alexei Jamnov.
Jamnov, one of 4 players in the NHL with 30 goals. The leading goal scorer is Peter Pondra with 32. But keep in mind, Jamnov did score 5 the last time these clubs met. Now Curry finds a hole. Here's Curry with a burst of speed. Caught up. Now dropped it back. And the puck is picked up by King. King's pass into the middle of Drake. And Drake starts back with King. 2-on-1. Drake to King in front. Shot. Rudy the save. Drake backhand. And the save by Sidor. Here's Manson with it. He gets it to King. King dumps it in. And Sidor comes up with it there for the Kings. Here's Sidor, dumped it into the Jet zone. And going back to get it is Brown. Brown for Chris King, back to Brown. Brown looks back to Manson. Manson a hit now to Gillen with Drake. Gillen flips it high. It goes into the Los Angeles zone. Petit nearly lost it there with King in pursuit. Now it goes to Snell, and he starts back for Los Angeles. Snell to center ice, gives it to Quinn. Into the middle. Here's Perreault moving in. Knocked off his stick by Thompson. It goes back to Snell. Into the corner now, Quinn. Slides it behind the net. Perreault trying to dig it out. It's left there. Olczyk around the boards to Martin. Martin can't get it out. It's dumped back into Quinn. Quinn behind the net. Lots of traffic in front. Quinn looks in front. Still has it. Feeds it there. And it went through everybody all the way back to center. Penalty coming up to the Jets. Gretzky comes out as the sixth attacker. He comes up with a puck at center. Gives to Perreault. And it was offside.
He was streaking up the middle. Greg Brown reached around and interfered enough so that the Kings couldn't get the chance. At the other end, the LA Kings give up a 2-on-1. Marty McSorley gets caught. Kelly Rudy again, key save at a key time. Chris King's in, and Daryl Sador smart enough to stay in position. And because he was in position, he was able to pick that one off as it was going to the empty net.
So the first power play opportunity of the game goes to the Los Angeles Kings as Olczyk is out for holding the stick. Kings lead the hockey game 1-0. They need to win, or at least tie, to retain any kind of playoff hope. Newman in against Gretzky in the corner. It comes out to Emerson, who starts away for Winnipeg. He gives to Tkachuk back to Emerson. Emerson gains the line, but it's offside.
Nelson Emerson played much better after the trading deadline than he did before, and some players are affected differently by rumors. You know, before the trading deadline, Nelson Emerson's name kept coming up. One of the guys that would have to move, one of the guys that would have to move. After the trading deadline, Emerson was much better. Another goaltender doing well, Rogie Vachon.
We mean another goaltender
doing well. Look at around the league. How many goaltenders are coaches or general managers of teams? There's lots.
Even the broadcasters.
That's right. And we're all in such good shape, the broadcasters.
Here's Quintal in behind his goal. Sends it around, stopped at the point by Blake. Blake moves into the top of the circle, puts it to the corner, Gretzky. Kings with a man advantage. Captain Gretzky goes to the dot in front target. He was checked. And Newman knocks it away. Back forward is Blake. Blake's pass into the middle to Snell. Over now to Gretzky. He puts it in deep. Quintal goes after it. A hit for Drake by him. Stopped at the point. Dumped back in. Perreault gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky goes back. Here's Gretzky. Takes a look. Puts it in deep. Perreault looks back to Snell. Snell winds it up. Won't shoot it. Now feeds it across. Nearly knocked away by Drake. Moving in is Blake. He scored! Drake, it looked like just was trying to move it to somebody in front. And the puck hit ice.
It hit Stefan Quintal. And you know, as a goaltender, you're in trouble when the shots on goal are the same as the scoreboard. Rob Blake comes in. Stefan Quintal goes out, tries to block this pass. Blake shoots. It's off Quintal's leg. Blake is trying to hit Wayne Gretzky beside the net, and Quintal knows that. He's got players behind him. They're killing a penalty, so he sticks out his left leg. And he tips it in behind Tim Shovelday. Power play goal for the LA Kings.
Now, Tim Shovelday hasn't been used the last couple of games. It has been Nikolai Hababulin, and in fact, prior to the game in Chicago last night, Hababulin had been the first star in the two victories for the Jets.
Now, you're implying that Tim Shovelday should have had either of those?
I thought he should have had that one.
It was off Stefan Quintal. The defenseman tips it right in front of him. Get out of the way.
Here's Brown at center ice. Drives it in. Now King goes after it. Knocks it behind the net. Sador gets it ahead to Long. Long moves up the left side. Gets to center ice. He gets in across the jet line. Is checked. In with it is King. To Drake. By him. And now for the Kings, Sador sends it to the jet line, and with it there is Manson. Manson's pass blinds and played down. So the power play, Blake did something late.
In naming the new Mercury Mystique one of the 10 best cars, Car and Driver said, you might easily mistake it for a much more expensive European sports sedan. But perhaps the most surprising quote comes from your Manitoba Mercury dealers. Just $279 a month for Mercury Mystique GS with dual airbags, Quadrolink suspension, micron air filtration, and for a limited time, no charge air. Just $279 a month. The competition had no comment. Test drive Mystique at your Mercury dealer today.
We saw Dan last month during his latest phase, fly fishing. But today, his wife sent him to Canadian Tire strictly for light bulbs. Then Dan noticed these Bauer inline skates and this Huffy backboard. And he couldn't resist these Northwestern golf clubs with graphite woods. So thanks to all the sports enthusiasts who rely on Canadian Tire. And to Dan, who'll be back tomorrow for those light bulbs. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire for a lot less.
Fighting for positions, that game's not so important. The Flyers have already clinched their division, so they'll be second. The Rangers trying to battle up the ladder, tied at home, and the Washington Capitals way ahead of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is trying to catch Quebec so that they'll be the number 1 seed.
11 and a half gone in the opening period here. It's 2-0. The Kings lead the Jets. Here's Sador. Drives it into the Jets zone. Back with it is Manson. Manson works out to center ice. Gets it up to the Kings line. Sit back out with it now. Perreault looks over to Quinn. Pass one off his stick all the way down. Shoveled out of the goal. Puts it to the corner. Bruce waiting there. He was checked by Manson. It goes to Eastwood. Eastwood gets it. Now to Tkachuk. Tkachuk ends the line. Tkachuk moves across, trying to drop it in, and it's grabbed by Quinn. Quinn moves slowly to center, looks to his right. Now takes his time, dumps it in behind the net. Shovelday for Manson. Manson let it go to Bruce. It's in deep. Eastwood kicks at it. Then handed it to Bruce. Bruce puts it out to Quinn. Quinn puts it across. Emerson can't get it by Bruce at the blue line. Bruce now checked by Emerson. Ahead for Tkachuk. Tkachuk gains the line. Emerson goes in deep to pick it up. Here's Emerson. Looks at it. Thompson. There's Thompson shot. The save by Rudy. It's at the side of the net. Now dug out by Tkachuk. Tkachuk leaves it there for Emerson. Emerson works it against Sador. Puts it in deep. Petit against Eastwood. Petit kicks at it. So does Eastwood. Thompson manages to hold it in momentarily. And now the Kings start away. Bruce, long pass, too far for Gretzky. Back to get it is Shannon. And it's icing against the Los Angeles Kings.
Kelly Rudy has made 3 quality saves. The shots are 8-2. And at key times, the Kings have 2 goals on 2 shots. And right after, the Jets have a good scoring chance. Kings bad defensively. They let Brent Thompson sneak in from the point. He's wide open. Lets the shot go. Rudy gets a piece of it. It's up off the crossbar, and Eastwood can't fight it. Thompson is all alone in front and can't score. Snaps the shot. It's up off Rudy, off the crossbar, and Mike Eastwood just can't pick it up.
Jets have outshot the Kings 8-2, but that means nothing. The Jets are minus 12 when they've outshot an opponent, and plus 3 when they've been outshot. You figure it out.
I have a theory on that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Here's McSorley. Trying to clear it. Now Curry knocks it out to center ice. Manson fires it back in, and the Kings dump it all the way down the ice. Going back to get it is Brown, and that's icing Los Angeles. 2-0. The Kings lead the Jets. 6:43 left in the first period.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
We'll get to my theory now, Kurt, because it won't take long. You get behind early, like tonight, the Kings scored the first minute, and then all of a sudden the other team sits back and lets your team get a lot of shots. So that's why you have the negative stat when you outshoot the opponent, because you're behind early.
Have you ever seen them so overwhelming as this, though?
No.
Nor is Terry Simpson. Face off to the right to Kelly Rudy. Now Solani against Sador along the boards. It's kicked into the corner. Korolev after it there. Sigurov against Korolev. Korolev into Solani. Solani works it out to Shamnov. A shot. Rudy dropped it aside for Sidor. Sidor dumps it all the way down the ice. It goes off Burridge. Going back forward is Thompson. Around now for Shannon. Shannon's pass to Solani. Solani gains the line, goes outside of McSorley. In front, Shamnov redirected wide. Shamnov to the corner. Back to Shannon. He puts it behind the goal. Solani goes after it there. Left it. Curry. Checked by Shamnov. It goes to Korolev. Back to the point. Thompson. He shot. Redirected a couple of times. It goes wide. Solani back to the point. Shannon shot. Rudy the save. Rebound in front. McSorley takes it behind, trying to clear, and he does. All the way down into Jet territory. Back forward is Thompson. To Shannon, to Korolev. Korolev knocked out the puck by Blake. Gretzky sends it rink wide. It's taken by Lacroix. In over the Jet line. Back to Tocchet. Tocchet watched by Newman. Puck bent back. Here's Blake moving in. He shot. Chevrolet save. Rebound in front. It goes back to Blake again. Again he lets it go. Another save. This time it winds up behind the goal. Centered. And Quintal for Solani. He flips it out over center. And back with it is Blake. 5 minutes left in the opening period. The Kings lead it 2-0. Quintal. Ahead for Drake. Drake to Gillen. That's dumped in. Petit goes after it. Around for Lacroix. Lets it go to Gretzky. Gretzky moving. Newman with an eye on him. And Newman knocked it away from him. Here's Gillen. Over now to Newman with King. Newman back to King. King tried to return the pass, and it's picked off. Here's Tocchet 2-on-1 with Gretzky. The pass to Gretzky on Quintal. Gretzky stopped. Gretzky in front, and his pass blocked by Quintal. Now Newman starts back 3-on-2 with Drake and Eastwood. Newman gains the line. Out front Drake, and he was checked by Quinn. Puck goes to the corner. Quinn bumped gently by Tkachuk. It stopped at the blue line, and now starting away again, 3-on-2. The Kings Perreault, and offside as it was brought in behind the play by Snell. 2-0 Kings, just over 4 minutes left in the first.
Remember your first bicycle? The first time you helped someone, just to help. The first time you were in control. It's an honest feeling that never goes away. It's something special. And that makes all the difference. The Birchwood Automotive Group. 8 dealerships, 1 company. Remember your gold-speckled banana seats?
Started off delivery driver, and from driver to snow shoveler to printer, now big entrepreneur guy about town. My business advantage is our technology, and technology comes at a cost. It's important that I have a saving. The Advantage plan definitely gives me a saving. It says total Advantage savings, 56%. The money we save goes toward new technology, and that's what's given us our advantage over our competition.
Who's got a better tandem in the NHL? Well, right now, because Grant Fuhr is playing much better, his goals against is way down. Last 4 games, he's only allowed 7 goals, and he allowed 19 in his first 3 games as an LA King. So he's really turned it around. He's starting to play with confidence, and Kelly Rudy has been good all season.
Here's Eastwood at center ice. He gives it now to Emerson. Put it in across the line, and McSorley. Leaned into by Tkachuk. It goes back to Brown. Dumped into the King zone and sent back out again. Drews checked by Manson. Gives it to Quinn. Quinn to Perreault. Perreault had it hop over his stick. Works in deep. Now Emerson. Ahead for Eastwood. It was picked off instead by Quinn. Quinn pops it into the corner. With it there, Manson. 2-0. The Kings lead. 3:33 left in the opening period. Manson for Eastwood. Left it there for Manson. Manson looks for room. Spots Tkachuk. He gains the line. Tkachuk to Emerson. Emerson could get a shot away as Bruce had him wrapped up. Now Tkachuk looks at Emerson. Got it to him, but Emerson has to work it to the outside. Back to the blue line. Shannon missed the pass. And now Bruce dumps it into Jet territory. Back with it is Thompson to Shannon. Shannon looks ahead. Here's check breaking through the middle. Checking again. Curry from behind. managed to tie up his stick on stick. Here's Perot trying to work it by Thompson. Forced to the outside, and Thompson takes him in against the board. Now Long trying to dig it out. Long run into by Rob Murray. That battle put it down, 4 of them. In the Jet corner, Robert Long comes up with it. Back to Segura, a shot. Chevelday to Murray to Olczyk. Olczyk works with Martin, gets to the line, checked from behind by Long. And now Petit. It's sent out to center ice. Long picks it up. Here's Long with Conacher, takes the drop pass. Conacher looks back, puts it to the corner. Shannon can't clear. Petit knocks it in. And going forward is Craig Martin. Tried it for Olczyk. He couldn't corral it. Curry picks it up. Curls, dumps it in. Just over 2 minutes left in the opening period. 2-0. The Kings lead it on goals by Curry and Blake. Here's McSorley. Dumps it in. And going back is Shannon. His clearing effort brought in offside by Rob Blake.
Goals for Gibson, CJOB are holding other stocks auction.
First intermission coming up. We'll have a feature on the tradition of the Winnipeg Jets, and let's hope this is just in tribute to what they've accomplished up to this point. They'll look at Bobby Hull with his real hair, and there's Randy Carlyle with his real hair. And when you're talking about the tradition of the Jets, you look at a guy like Randy Carlyle, in his heart, this must be tearing Randy Carlyle apart because he's a true Winnipegger now and a true Jet.
Him and tens or hundreds of thousands of others. Now the puck at center ice. It's dumped into the Kings on, and back with it is Blake behind his goal. Blake to McSorley. Wrapped around now for Tocchet. Tocchet sent it out to center and all the way down the ice. And going back to get it is Quintal in behind his goal. Stefan Quintal gets it ahead now to Korolev. Korolev ahead for Solani. Solani's 3-on-2. Gets it back to Quintal. He brings Jamna, takes his time, but couldn't finish it off. Now Jamna dances with it, trying to spin in front. The light went on, but then it went right back off again.
Knocked down with a high stick. Terry Fraser is calling the high stick, and I don't think the puck ever did go in. Fans don't like the call.
Now the trigger-happy goal judge, too, I think, back there.
Home ice advantage, why not? Jamnov has a chance. Kelly Rudy forces him to try and go up and over, and Eric Lacroix gets back. Jamnov tries to wrap around, goes up in the air, knocked down with a high stick, and it's touched by Kelly Rudy. It never does go in. That was a good angle. You could see Kelly Rudy did stop that before it went in, but as soon as it's touched by Kelly Rudy, Jamnov with the original chance, knocked down by a high stick. Gretzky takes a swing at it and knocks it down. And it goes to Kelly Rudy, and immediately Terry Fraser is making the high stick signal. I'm glad they have a veteran referee for a big game for the LA Kings. You watched that one last night, you wonder why Dave Jackson was doing a game that was so crucial for both teams.
Here's Manson at the point, lets it go. Rudy the save. After it is Long, starts up the right side to center. Manson stops it, gives to Emerson. Emerson over now to Brown, ahead for Eastwood. Dumped into the Kings zone, into the last minute of the opening period. The Kings with the only 2 goals. Here's Kachuk, out for Brown, shot, rebound, backhand, and Rudy the save. As Mike Eastwood had a glorious opportunity, but couldn't get the puck in the air.
Rudy never gives up on anything. He gives the puck away. The puck comes back to Brown, the long shot. But Rudy never gives up. It's a wide open net. Lay the arm down in desperation. He does. And he makes the save, as you said, Kurt. Eastwood, all he had to do was get a little on it, even if it was along the ice, and it would have gone in.
Well, tonight marks the final telecast for Safeway Score and Win. On behalf of Safeway, thanks to all who participated, and congratulations to tonight's winners, as well as all of the lucky Safeway shoppers who won trips and prizes on our previous telecasts. Score and Win at Safeway, today's better way. Here's Petit in behind his goal. 42 seconds left in the period. It's sent out to center ice. With it there is Manson. Manson puts it into the Kings zone. Gillen goes after it. Gillen down deep. His pass went off a stick and out of play.
Gene Principe in the first intermission. And you look around the team and players who have been traded throughout the league, and when you're changing and the threat of going to another city, Randy Gillen is one of the players that would really be upset if the Winnipeg Jets moved out of Winnipeg.
He and Thomas Steen, I think, would be the two most bothered by it. Thomas Steen, of course, next year, if he plays next year, if the Jets are here next year, would reach game number 1,000, all in the uniform of the Jets. And, of course, at least until now, all located right here. Steen not dressed tonight. He's got the back problem. Now, puck is knocked in behind. The Kings go with it there. Sador chased by Korolev. It goes to Sador. Flips it high. That goes all the way down the ice. Shovelday wraps it around. Solani goes back to pick it up. Solani's pass to Kinzal. Kinzal slowly to center. Gains the Kings line. Puts it behind the goal. Conacher goes after it. Now Conacher trying to work by Korolev, who stands him up. Todd puts it in the center ice, and the first period is over.
Kelly Rudy with big saves at key times in the period. Has been watching Grant Fuhr play the last two games and back in there and playing very well for the LA Kings. And the Jets, unfortunate luck in the first period. And the Kings playing with a little more intensity early and getting the breaks.
Coming up, Randy Gillen in conversation with Gene Principe. The score after one period, the Los Angeles Kings 2, the Winnipeg Jets nothing.
Play Safeway, score and win. With a Jet Score, you could win a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven with sensor cooking controls, a 20-piece set of Mikasa fine china in the Currents pattern, the home essentials from T-Pal, or Dirt Devil vacuums from Royal Appliance. You could also win a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays. Safeway's participating products, Campbell's Chunky Soup, and Ragu Spaghetti Sauce. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Introducing the Cosmetics Club from Shoppers Drug Mart.
Hi, Angela. I ran out of a few things. Really?
Once your card reaches $200 on cosmetics or fragrances, you get another $20 worth of your choice, free.
Isn't it funny how you run out of everything at once?
It's like getting something free for the cosmetics you buy anyway.
Have a good one. I already did.
The Cosmetics Club, only at Shoppers Drug Mart.
I need a good accountant here in Manitoba. Any recommendations, John?
I'll set you up with Ted. He's a CGA.
A CGA?
Yeah, Certified General Accountant. They're the fastest growing accounting body in Manitoba. And Ted's one of the best. Financial decisions, computer systems, saving taxes. There's nothing he can't handle.
I wish he was here right now. He could help me count these strokes.
You bet. CGA. Wherever sound financial decisions are made.
Oh, free!
I'm thinking about our sports select picks. We want Minnesota over Toronto.
Yeah, I'm waffling on that game. What about Boston, Chicago? What are they talking about?
Strategy.
Let's just pick 3 winners then. No, we always play a 4-pick.
So let's stick with our first 3 and go with Toronto.
Let's hurry it up.
Why? You late for your eye appointment?
Well, the place is packed this evening at the Winnipeg Arena, both on the concourse level and in the stands. A sellout crowd is expected this evening as the Jets play their final regular season game of the year. In town are the Los Angeles Kings, as they are looking for a couple of victories to give them an opportunity to have a postseason chance. The fans in anticipation, not knowing what may happen later on this evening. There is a lot of talk going on about the future of the Winnipeg Jets. Barry Shankro is expected back from Ottawa, where he met this afternoon with some federal cabinet ministers, including NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, and we're having some problems here, so let's check in with Joe Pascucci.
Hirsch Walsh, a very emotional night for many Winnipeggers. You're a longtime Jets fans. What are your feelings?
I feel like I'm cheering at a funeral.
Very sad. Completely. I hope there's something out there for us, but to me, the Jets are the heart and the soul of the city. They're, the attractiveness of the city is the community spirit, and the Jets are part of that, and it would be a terrible, terrible loss if they're gone.
Well, after one period of play, the Los Angeles Kings lead the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 2-0. Molson Jets Hockey on CKND Winnipeg TV.
Disappointed? Don't be disappointed. Shop Park Pontiac.
If you're going to look for a car, truck, or van, who do you want to deal with? A dealership with only a few vehicles? Or Park Pontiac Buick GMC with too many vehicles? Park Pontiac's got the largest selection of Pontiacs, Buicks, and GMC trucks in Manitoba. You got it, Park Pontiac.
You got it, Park Pontiac.
You want it? Well, you got it.
What are you doing there?
In a world all its own.
Over ancient dunes are footsteps forever lost in the shifting spirit sands. Discover where a rare prairie desert gives way to a land of color and contrast. And as you find your roots in Manitoba's western and parkland regions, remember that every great explorer needs a guide. Call and explore Manitoba.
It's celebration time at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle. It's our 5th anniversary, and we're now Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. For 5 years, we've been providing the same quality service, the same great product, and the best prices in the West. During our anniversary sale, we're hoping to become Canada's largest volume dealership. We're slashing prices on all Jeep Grand Cherokees, Jeep Cherokees, Eagle Visions, and Talons. You won't believe the savings at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. 1430 Ellis, just a slap shot from the arena.
A promotional consideration has been paid by the following.
When it's time to replace your vehicle's exhaust, give it the Walker Advantage with lifetime limited warranty. 3,300 dealers coast to coast.
Welcome back to the Winnipeg Arena. LA leads the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 2-0 at this point in the first intermission. And still with us is Randy Gillen. We've corrected our technical difficulties. Randy, thank you for hanging around. And tell us what kind of a day it's been for you guys, particularly a Winnipegger, with the situation with the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, it's been a tough day for us. Nobody really knows what's happening. We know as much as the public knows. And, it's kind of distracting. We're trying to get ready to play a hockey game. And, the fans have been really good to us tonight, and they're into it, and we want to put on a good effort for them. And, we still got 40 minutes to play here and pick it up. But, there's no doubt that it's been on our mind. It's a distraction for everybody.
Is this the worst or the weirdest feeling you've had to go through as a hockey player?
I think it is because, usually our lives are so controlled, and, people are telling us what we're going to do all the time. And, when you're traded, it's just a spur-of-the-moment thing, and you pick up and you go somewhere else. And this has been, going on for, years now, the situation here in Winnipeg. And now it's finally come to a head, and that one way or another, it'll be, almost a relief to get it over with.
Tough on you and tough on your family, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's tough on everybody involved. Like I say, when you're traded, you just pick up and you go, and you can kind of get a fresh start. But right now, everybody's, like I said, wondering what's going to happen and where we're going to be. Hopefully we're in Winnipeg, but we keep hearing Minneapolis, Atlanta, Denver, and it's pretty hard to take when you don't really know what your future holds.
Thank you, Randy. Best of luck the rest of the way. Now let's have a look back at some memorable moments for both the NHL and WHA version of the Winnipeg Jets. We bring in Sportsline's Joe Piscucci.
The Winnipeg Jets took flight in 1972 as the realization of Benny Hatskin's dream to provide an alternative to the NHL. In Winnipeg, Hatskin built the WHA on the cornerstone of Bobby Hull, who became a millionaire when he signed with the Jets. Hull gave the league credibility and opened the door to many other top-caliber players for whom there wasn't room in the NHL. Benny Hatskin was a deal maker. risk-taker, and a fighter. In the early years of the WHA, he spent more time in courts fighting the NHL than he did in rinks. The WHA, however, sank roots, and in Winnipeg, the Jets began a tradition. A tradition of conflict with the NHL had also begun, with each league coveting the other's players, often through bitter litigation. Financially troubled from the start, what the WHA lacked in resources, it made up for with a colorful and pioneering on-ice product. Amidst constant rumors of NHL mergers, franchise bankruptcies, and Save the Jet campaigns, Bobby Hull and his teammates proved that the NHL did not have exclusivity on exciting hockey. '74 was a milestone in North American hockey. The Jets dipped into a virtually untapped European talent pool, and with the signing of Anders Hedberg and Ulf Nielsen, opened the eyes of traditionalists to an international caliber of hockey. That was also the year Bobby Hull broke Phil Esposito's single-season goal-scoring record, with 77 in 78 games. While constant feuding with the NHL and changes of ownership plagued the Winnipeg Jets, the magic moments continued in 1978. Bobby Hull scored his 1,000th career goal against Quebec. Anders Hedberg became the first professional hockey player to score 50 goals in less than 50 games, and the Jets won their second Avco Cup. The following season marked a change in eras for the Jets. Bobby Hull retired from the game, and ironically, the man who wooed Hedberg and Nielsen to New York became the general manager. The NHL again rejected a merger proposal, but this time fans fought back with a threatened boycott of corporations active in the NHL. Eventually, the merger was accepted, and for the Jets, their last season in the WHA would bring another championship. In 1979, Benny Hatskin's dream and the Jets made it to the show.
Number 14, Petermar.
The NHL Jets saw measures of both success and failure on and off the ice. And although the holy grail of hockey has not yet been captured in Winnipeg, the exploits of Jet heroes live forever, vividly in the minds and hearts of Winnipeg fans.
It takes a Canadian to know how hard Canadians work. That's why Zellers works hard to give you more for your money. Save 1/3 on our entire selection of window toppers and draperies. And find ladies' genuine leather Huaraches at the lowest price of the season, just $9.97. More rewards, more savings, more money back. Zellers, with the lowest prices the law every day.
Here's an important price announcement for wheat farmers. Agrivo has just reduced the prices of two of the leading wheat herbicides, Puma and Triumph Plus, by $2 per acre. Now that the price is falling, there's even more value in using Puma and Triumph Plus to protect your wheat. Because when you multiply $2 by your total wheat acres, you're talking about a significant accumulation. Puma and Triumph Plus. New lower price, now greater value.
Precious metal is within your grasp with the Deer Lodge Heart of Gold Lottery. Your ticket could win you the grand prize package of a golden RV getaway package or $50,000 in gold. Tickets are just $35 each or 3 for $95. Order early to qualify for one of 10 weekly early draws every Wednesday. Call 988-1995 today and help Deer Lodge Foundation put caring into action. The Heart of Gold Lottery. It's your golden opportunity to win.
This commercial is for anyone who wants a new Jeep but has to watch their budget. In other words, almost everybody. Eastwood Jeep Eagle makes this amazing 2-for-1 offer. Your choice of 2 Jeeps for one very low price. Choose either a 95 Cherokee Sport or 95 Grand Cherokee Laredo for only $499 a month, plus free oil changes for life. Only at Eastwood Jeep Eagle. Cherokee Sport or Grand Cherokee Laredo, only $499 a month and free oil changes for life. See dealer for details. Eastwood Jeep Eagle, 1424 Regent, 661-5337.
Tonight's first period NHL update is brought to you by Canadian Tire. 3 other games around the National Hockey League. Eric Lindros is not in the lineup tonight. It doesn't look like the Flyers will need him anyways. Other action, Florida taking on the New York Rangers. Panthers only 3 goals in their last 3 games, have 2 tonight, and are tied with the Rangers. And the Pittsburgh Penguins do not want to go into the postseason on the bad roll they're on. They have lost 2 of their last 6 and are trailing this evening against Washington. And trailing after 1 period are the Winnipeg Jets against the Los Angeles Kings. And you are now up to date on the NHL tonight, courtesy of Canadian Tire. Second period action, Molson Jets hockey on CKND is on the way.
Jerry always comes to see us when he's fixing up his car. So when he decided to do a little spring cleaning, he went to Canadian Tire, where he saved 25% on these MotoMaster all-weather floor mats. The front, just $14.99, and the rear ones now $10.99. They're reversible for year-round use and on sale this week only, exclusively at Canadian Tire. So we'd just like to say thanks to Jerry and the millions of people who rely on Canadian Tire. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire for a lot less.
I've always wanted to have a sports car. The red of this Supreme and the black interior, I just said, that's me. The ABS braking system, the dual airbags, that's an incredibly important feature. I think you're getting an awful lot of car for your money with a Cutlass Supreme. It's a great way to have a midlife crisis.
Demand better. Demand Oldsmobile from your Manitoba Chevrolet Geo Oldsmobile dealers.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by MTS, Canadian Tire, Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, 1430 Ellis at Arena Road, and by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
So the Winnipeg Jets and Los Angeles Kings prepare for period 2. The Kings with a 2-0 lead on a goal by Yuri Curry at the 108 mark, assisted by Conacher, and in a power play goal by Rob Blake, his 4th goal of the season from Chris Snell and Yannick Perreault. And as is normal when the Jets are outscored, they had most of the shots, 14 of the 19.
Wayne Gretzky's line played in their own zone for quite a bit of that period, but when they did get the puck, they were dangerous. Gretzky, Eric Lacroix, and Rick Tocchet. And Gretzky starting again as they look over at the bench. Teemu Selanne, a doubtful starter. He's had his knees frozen the last 3 or 4 games for the Winnipeg Jets, and there was talk that he would not play tonight. A nothing game for the Winnipeg Jets, but he's out there again.
And with more reaction, here's Joe Pascucci, who's wandering around the stands and the hallways and the corridors.
Cheryl, you've brought the whole family here tonight for this evening. What are your emotions?
Well, I'll be really upset if the Jets leave Winnipeg, because somebody said we'll end up being just like Regina, but without hockey. And, I mean, I really like the Jets. I think they're an important part of our community. Unfortunately, it seems like everybody waits till the last minute, like Minnesota. Now they want a team so badly, and I don't want that to happen here. I think the Jets are important, and I hope that we can find some way of keeping them here.
So Regina continues to take a beating.
I'm glad I'm not from Regina. Are we on the satellite tonight so people in Regina can watch it?
Here's Robert Long in his own zone. Now puts it rink wide to Conacher. He's out to center. Conacher gains the jet line, goes to the outside, dropped it for McSorley, and he puts it in behind the goal. Now Long trying to work it out. Shamrock forces him to the corner. Long gets it over to Curry. Curry dropped it off at the point. Here's Blake. Dumps it toward the goal. Picked up by Shamrock, who starts away with Selanne and Korolev. Selanne back to Shamrock. Over to Korolev. He tried to feed it back to Shamrock, and Blake took it away. Now with it is Curry. He gets up to the jet line. Dropped it for McSorley. It's centered, and Brown knocked it out over center ice. Back with it is Conacher for the Kings. To Curry. Curry's check. Eastwood went outside. Now moves in. Eastwood puts it back to the corner. Now, why did Eastwood go the way he went instead of straight to the net?
Especially with a penalty coming up, and he skated right by Kerry Fraser, so he knew there was a penalty coming up. after the giveaway by Yari Curry, Curry knows he's in trouble, and he makes sure that his man doesn't go to the net. Keith Tkachuk takes him down and takes the penalty. Cheryl Miller talking to Joe Pascucci. It's that kind of emotion and that kind of loyalty. How do you put a price tag on that? And that's the way the fans in Winnipeg have been throughout the years. Kim Camarda dressed in white. Kurt Keelback rules. Kurt Keelback all these years. They must be emotional for you, the situation.
Well, it has been. There have been 1,312 games, regular season and postseason, played by the Jets. So if there's a 13 and 13, it'll actually be lucky. It'll be next year, and it'll be here. Here's Emerson. Gets it back to Brown. Brown's fast. That goes down to Emerson. Emerson moves in around Petit. Takes it behind the net. Goes to the other side. Back to the point. Brown. Over now to Manson. He lets it go wide. Here's Emerson. Emerson back to the line to Brown. Brown's shot is blocked. Here's Emerson. Gets it back to Manson. Shot. Rudy the save. And now Gretzky kicks at it. Gretzky chased by Eastwood. Dumps it all the way down the ice. A minute 18 left in the penalty to Yari Curry. 2-0 the Kings lead. 2 minutes gone in the second period. Here's Brown to Emerson. Emerson moves it in deep. Puts it rink wide to Tkachuk. Tkachuk looks back at Shamnov. Feeds to Kinto. A shot rebound. And now going after it is Newman. Newman into Kinto. He gives it to Shamnov. Shamnov, Kinto. Back to Shamnov. Over Newman. Back down Kinto. Traffic in front. Shamnov. Tkachuk is still in front. Now Shamnov lets it go. It went off McSorley. And it's a souvenir. And Marty McSorley goes back and taps Kelly Rudy. McSorley, a good play to block that shot. And Kelly Rudy with the save on Stefan Kittel. The Kings did a good job leaving the shooting lanes open, and when they weren't open, they were there to block them, as Marty McSorley did on the last play. McSorley knows Jamnot's going to shoot, gets out square, gets the stick out, and gets it up and over the glass. Jets finally did go to the net trying to screen Rudy. The way he's playing tonight, they're going to have to get a garbage one. They're going to have to get in front of him to make sure he can't see it. 38 seconds left in Curry's penalty. Shamnov, Solani, and Korolev up front. Newman is back with Kintal. It goes to Kintal, to Newman, in front Solani, to Kintal, to Shamnov. Korolev is stationed in front. Here's Shamnov, tried it for Solani, was covered. Puck goes to the corner, and McSorley. Ahead now to Todd. He moves to center. Trying to get by Kintal. And then circles back. Gets it over now to Conacher. Drive, Cheveldae. Drop to Newman. Newman starts up the middle. Tempo Newman gains the line. Dumps it in. Going forward, McSorley to Todd. Todd clears it. And Curry steps out of the penalty box. Here's Kintal to Solani. Solani's pass broken up. Gretzky, Lacroix. It goes to Tocchet. Petit fired it wide. Here's Gretzky in behind. Gretzky slides it in front. Gets it back again. Gretzky puts it through the crease. And at Korolev. Looks across Solani with Shamnov. Here's Solani. Tried it for Shamnov. Broken up. Sent out to center. Here's Gretzky on the left side. Gretzky lets it go. Out the challenge. Cheveldae. And now Brown gives it to Solani. Solani has some room on the left side. He gains the line. Solani looks in front. Beats Gillett. Shot scores.
Solani kicks it up, and both Kings defensemen, Michel Petit is back, and Chris Snell. And what is Snell doing? I have no idea. He started to go, and then Randy Gillen is wide open. Petit has Solani in the corner, and Snell lets his man go right to the net, and Randy Gillen one-times it so Kelly Rudy can't get the leg over. Perfect pass from Solani to Gillen.
So it's 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets, the 5th of the year for Gillen, and most of them have been a recent.
Number 16, Randy Gillen.
Blake. Blake goes back for it. Gives to Segura. Greg Brown also draws an assist along with Solani. On a goal by Gillen. 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets. And now Perot starts away for Los Angeles. Gets it over to Drew. Drew got off by Brown. Now stops. Puts it across. And King has some room as he takes it out to center ice. King trying to go outside on Blake. Stops. King against Blake. Now Segura. Put it behind the net. It's sent back to the blue line. Quintal gets there, gives it to Gillen. Gillen shot, and it went wide. Now Quinn, checked by Thompson. It goes in behind. Drake into the corner for Murray. He gives to King. To the point, Shannon. To Murray. Murray looks in front. Beats Shannon instead. Lets it go. And Rudy didn't see that, but it missed. Here's Thompson shot. And went wide. Here's Shannon shot. That went wide. It's a shooting gallery. Thompson in behind to Drake. To Olchek. He slides it out. Perot chased by Thompson. Yannick Perot gets it to the line. And this time it's out. Jets have come to life after that goal by Gillen. Here's Thompson. Into Olchek. Off his stick. Snell goes after it. Behind the net, McSorley. Gets it ahead now to Long. Long with Curry and Conacher. The rink-wide pass. Here's Conacher. Shot. Shovel, they said. He doesn't know where it is. And now it's picked up by Martin. Ahead to Olchek. Over to Eastwood. Eastwood on McSorley. Here's Eastwood. Puts it in front. Knocked down. And covering up is Rudy. And suddenly we've got some spirit at the Winnipeg Arena. 2-1. 6:03 gone in period 2.
Cyclone alert. Cyclone alert.
The new 95 GMC Sonoma Cyclone has just touched down at your GMC truck dealers, tearing up the competition with 20% more horsepower than Ranger. This hot-looking Cyclone also comes with AM/FM cassette, sporty 15-inch aluminum wheels, and plenty of attitude. All for $13,980. Take them by storm in a Sonoma Cyclone from your Manitoba GMC truck dealers.
Ball free.
I'm thinking about our sports select picks. We want Minnesota over Toronto.
Yeah, I'm waffling on that game. What about Boston, Chicago? What are they talking about?
Strategy. Let's just pick 3 winners then. No, we always play a 4-pick. So let's stick with our first 3 and go with Toronto.
Let's hurry it up.
Why? You're late for your eye appointment?
Takes the shot. Tim Shovelday very aggressive but can't find the rebound. The Jets do a good job defensively on Yari Curry. And at the other end, Ed Olchek's upset. Marty McSorley comes in. The puck's loose. Olchek's down, and McSorley chops at everybody and catches Ed Olchek. McSorley right there, the hack on the arm on Olchek, and that's why Olchek, who's usually pretty mild-mannered, was so upset with referee Kerry Fraser.
Off the face-off in the Kings zone. They shot, rebound in front. Now Long trying to clear. Long gets it out toward Curry. Curry kicks on it, sends it to center. Grabbed there by Tkachuk. Tkachuk goes after it. Eastwood to the front of the goal. Tkachuk looks back, puck, makes to the drive. Rudy the save, and a Conacher dropped it to Curry, and he's away for the Kings. Curry to the outside, trying to work in front, and it goes to Manson. Manson to Tkachuk. Tkachuk's pass to Emerson. Off his stick. Long comes up with it. Long gets some blocking from Pate, moves out to center ice. He's checked, and now Emerson gives it to Tkachuk. Tkachuk to the outside. He puts it in deep. Sedol, and he's pulled after it there. And now going forward is Long to Conacher. Left there, Emerson shot. Long comes up with it. Emerson took a run at Long and missed. Now Sedor circles with it. Dumps it all the way down from his own side of center. If the Jets get there first, they don't. Now the puck in behind, and with it is Solani.
Kelly Rudy wanted that icing because he's got a broken stick, and the Kings got got to it first, negated the icing.
Now Tockett knocks it into the jet zone. Back to get it Brown. He slaps at the distance, and Rudy will get his opportunity now.
Jets just did him a favor.
7.5 gone in the second.
We're going to be good, right?
Remember how Dad likes it? Dad?
Hi.
Hi, Mom.
How are they?
They were really...
Great. Terrific. Excellent. We were nice, kind, sweet children.
You certainly were.
Well, thanks to Randy Gillen, we have a winner in our Safeway Score and Win contest. John Livingston entered a ballot and included a label from Royale Bathroom Tissue. As a result, John has won Sultan's gourmet collection of fine kitchen appliances. 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets. Here's Solani charging after it. McSorley tying him up, but Rudy had to play it to take off the icing, and out goes to Gretzky. Gretzky gains the jet line, dropped to Tockett. He split it into the middle, and it's grabbed by Shemov to Solani. Solani is checked, goes back for it. Now Lacroix, he's checked by Solani. Solani moves in on the right side, dropped it to Shemov. Shemov shot off Blake. Newman moves in, knocked by him. Gretzky races after it. Chevrolet comes out big. Gretzky to the puck and sent it to center. Here's Quintal. Tockett checked by Quintal. Quinn trying to clear, goes on Shemov, but Quintal was offside. We get more reaction from the stands, and again, Pascucci, Joe Pascucci.
What are your thoughts tonight as this could be the Jets' last game?
Well, it's bad. It's going to hurt the city. It's going to hurt all the fans. It's going to hurt a lot of jobs. It will also hurt our tax base, everything else. The whole situation in the city is going to go, I would think, downhill.
And the youth of the city, certainly they won't have a hockey team to enjoy as your son is doing right now.
That's right. That's the worst part. I've seen a lot of hockey here from the WHA and NHL, and now our kids and our sons and daughters, they're not going to have that chance.
Barry Shankro, who apparently is going to have a press conference in a second intermission. Now Brown knocks it into Jet territory, and back with it is Petit. Behind his goal, gives it to Quinn. Quinn's pass into the middle goes to Gross. Gross dumps it into the Jet zone. Now Gross going after it. He centers it. Big shot. Big save. Chevrolet. And now the Jets start away. Drake gets the pass into the middle for King. It's dumped in. Yannick Perreault, good opportunity. Chevrolet came up with a save. Now Quinn with it. Quinn's pass to Gross. Knocked it into the Jet zone. Chevrolet lands it there for Manson. 2-1, the Kings lead. 9 minutes gone in the second period. The Kings still alive in the playoff chase. Here's Petit, and it's offside.
Michel Petit was caught with a Dallas Drake high stick. And he was complaining to Kerry Fraser. You look at the free agent signings during the off-season, and the LA Kings signed Michel Petit and Dan Quinn, and on their team, they turned into two pretty good players. The high stick by Drake almost took off Petit's head. Kerry Fraser chose not to call that one. Jets playing with much more emotion here in the second period. They had lots of shots in the first period, but there wasn't a whole lot of hitting or a whole lot of driving to the net, taking the body, but we've seen more of that here in the second period.
You talk about the free agent signings. They had to go that way. They traded away so many draft choices over the years, particularly in the Gretzky acquisition. You wonder a little bit about the future.
You really do, and how many free agents can they sign and the price they'll have to pay. Michel Petit and Quinn, when they were signed, they weren't figured to be the number 2 defenseman and the number 2 center, but that's what they turned out to be for the LA Kings.
Here Shannon drives it into the Kings zone. Now Martin goes after it there. Puts it behind the net. McSorley around to the corner. Olczyk against Curry. Popped out. High stick. Rob Murray caught long, and there's going to be a penalty. He's not cut, so
they got away with the first one, but that one almost knocked Robert Long's helmet off his head, and Rob Murray is headed to the penalty box. Murray is reaching from behind, tries to get the stick, gets the stick, but then carries it right into Robert Long's face and takes the high sticking penalty.
So we'll get a look at the Kings power play. Wayne Gretzky, of course, the key man on the power play. He's the leading scorer once again. You know, some people have speculated this might be his last season. I know you don't concur with that.
I don't think so. And you look around the league, the guys who are tied with him, Teemu Selanne, Pierre Turgeon, Mark Recchi, are they all going to retire because they only have 47 points in a 48-game season?
Quinn, Tocchet, and Gretzky up front. Snell is back with Blake. Snell takes it deep. Gillen up front with Eastwood. Quintal back with Newman. Here's Snell. Dropped it off. It goes to Quinn. Quinn gets up to the jet line. He is turned back. Snell gets it over now to Blake. Blake dumped it into the corner. Eastwood goes back for it. Gets it to Quintal. He sends it out. And now Snell gives to Gretzky. Back to Snell. A minute and a half left in the penalty to Rob Murray. The Kings lead the Jets 2-1. The midway mark of the second period. It's knocked into the Jet zone. Back forward is Newman. Newman sends it up the middle to Gillen. Gillen, one man back is Blake. Gillen shot. Blake got a piece of that one, and it went wide. Now Snell puts it behind the goal, and with it there is Blake. Blake's pass. Now Tocchet to Quinn, and it's offside.
We talked about Dan Quinn signing as a free agent, and Rogie Vachon said that the reason they liked Quinn was the games that he played in Ottawa last year. Quinn thanked the Ottawa management for taking him and giving him the opportunity to get back in the league. Some off-ice incidents that made Dan Quinn an untouchable for a little while, and a talented player, has matured a lot over the years after his great Calgary years as a youngster under Bob Johnson.
A minute and 3 left in the penalty to Rob Murray. Here's Shannon for Winnipeg. Dumps it into the Kings zone, and with it there is Blake. Blake gets the pass over now to Petit, sends it up the middle to Curry. By him, Shannon knocks it back. It's grabbed there by Emerson. And Emerson put it in, but Tkachuk was offside.
You talk about the future of this team. Jari Kurri, Gretzky, Tocchet. How much longer can these guys last? And you mentioned the draft picks that they have given away. And there's a couple of youngsters. Kevin Brown looks pretty good. Chevalier looks pretty good coming out of Phoenix. They played well all year. Kevin Brown's only 19. But other than that, you look at their defense. Their best defenseman not playing in the NHL right now is Tim Waters.
And he's been around forever.
He's been around forever.
He was with the Jets in 1980. Or 81. Here's Petit. That's right, it was 81 right after, 80 after the Olympic Games. Now Quintal back, and it's icing against the Los Angeles Kings. So there have been a few people around through the entire Jets history in the NHL.
Stefan Quintal has been one of the main defensemen for the Winnipeg Jets and has played much better under Randy Carlyle as he reminds the defense what they're supposed to do every shift. And unfortunately for the Jets, Carlyle wasn't involved soon enough, Kurt. I think if Carlyle had been involved earlier, they would have played with a little more emotion and wouldn't be in the predicament they are playoff-wise.
Here's Gretzky deep with it for the Kings. Puts the pass over now to Petit. His pass up the right side. That's taken in across the line, dropped off. Emerson and Gretzky battle for it. Kachuk digs it out. Puts it back to the Kings line. Petit looked across, nobody there. And in play was whistled down.
Michel Petit looked at the linesman and wanted the call on the high stick, and neither linesman had their hand up. And that, you get a veteran referee with two linesmen. We've got Mark Wheeler and then Andy McKellum. And Michel Petit saying, well, why didn't you give me the call on the high stick? Emerson comes. Petit's got his stick up. He sees Emerson coming, gets ready. But Michel Petit didn't know whether he could handle it or not, and the linesman did not give him the high stick signal. And he's still talking to the linesman and Kerry Fraser about it. And that's two linesmen who looked at each other, couldn't make the call, and then as soon as Petit touched it, they blew the whistle. Now, why not let it go?
So 16 seconds left in the penalty to Murray, and the faceoff will be down in the Los Angeles zone to the right. Kelly Rudy. Back house at the Winnipeg Arena. All the tickets, most of the tickets sold before the Jets' elimination last night in Chicago. Here's a shot from the point. Now it's picked up by McSorley. McSorley moves up the middle, gets to center, gets to the jet line, dumps it in. Chevrolet leaves it there for Brown. He slams it off the boards all the way down. And going back to get it is McSorley. McSorley's pass. That goes up the middle. Conacher after it, 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets in the second. It's in behind the goal. Chevrolet tried to clear. It was blocked. And now grabbed by Greg Brown. Curry decides to go in after him. Brown now gives it to Manson. He's watched by Long. Ahead down to Korolev with Solani and Shenbaum. Solani takes the pass in flight. Here's Solani in deep. Trying to work it in. Korolev shot! And Rudy the save. Timo Solani, who's had the knee problem, has shown some good bursts of speed in this final game of the year.
From the day she was born, you've promised to protect her. So Johnson's Baby Her. Help protect your scalp from irritation with new improved Johnson's Baby Shampoo. The only one clinically proven hypoallergenic for cleansing that's effective but never irritating and still as gentle to eyes as pure water. Now while you can, protect them. Care for them. Johnson's Baby them.
Hello, I'm Bramwell Tovey of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Accomplished pianist and consummate comedian Dudley Moore will be joining me and the orchestra for this year's glittering Crown Royal evening. We invite you to a fabulous evening with Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, Ravel's Bolero, and a few surprises. Due to overwhelming public demand, we've added a second performance on Wednesday, May the 17th. Please join Dudley Moore, the WSO, and me for this very exciting event. Hope to see you there.
Coaches who started out not being head coaches at the start of the season. Rogie Vachon, assistant to the president, had his office on the golf course. Now all of a sudden in the frying pan behind the bench.
Now McSorley behind his goal. Leaves it there. It's in around the boards. Quinn approached by Manson. It's knocked ahead. Bruce missed it. And back with it is Brown. Watched by Perreault. Puts it over two lines. It goes off the stick of Manson. And the linesman whistled it down.
Break for the Jets there. Dave Manson caught in, pitched in, had no chance. Perreault and Drews in behind. Clean 2-on-1. And they just couldn't come up with the puck.
Los Angeles Kings go from here to Chicago tomorrow, and their fate is not in their own hands. If the San Jose Sharks win tomorrow, it doesn't matter what the Kings do, but in the event that the Canucks are successful, then the Kings can still make the playoffs. The Canucks, I mean, by beating San Jose tomorrow.
The Kings can, if they win both games, beat Dallas. Dallas will be the team out, and the Kings should win tonight, should win tomorrow night. It will be the Kings and San Jose both in.
Here's Manson. He drives it in. Now Drake goes after it. Drake knocks into the corner. King and Sigurov are there. It's sent back. Now knocked out by Quinn. And it goes all the way down the ice. Back for it goes Manson. Pearl after him. Manson wrapped it around. It goes to King. King starts to center. His pass goes to Drake. Drake tried it for Gillen. Gillen shot wide. And now Perreault starts out for Los Angeles. Gets it out to center ice. to Perot, and it's offside. 2-1, the Los Angeles Kings lead the Winnipeg Jets. Just over 7 minutes left in the second.
From coast to coast, no one serves Canadians better. Canadian Tire, proud to be part of Canada for over 70 years.
Chris King playing with his usual fire. He was a doubtful starter, another player with knee problems and foot problems.
Here's Petit, drives it in. Solani goes back to get it. Solani around for Numanen. Numanen stopped. Now Numanen is down on the ice as he was taken heavily into the boards. There's going to be a boarding penalty
on Rick Tocchet, and then Stefan Cattell went over and had words with Tocchet. Numanen gets turned around on the boards, and the push from Tocchet head high. And Numanen went head first into the boards. Tocchet talking it over with the linesman. Tocchet played his first game back against Anaheim, a big win for the LA Kings, and he took a penalty on his first shift. Just to let everybody know he was back. Tecmo Numanen looks like he's going to be all right. Phil Walker out attending to him. Take the cobwebs out.
They give him a 2-minute boarding penalty. The Jets are claiming it should be 5, but Gary Fraser's telling Keith Tkachuk no.
I didn't think it was vicious enough to draw a 5-minute penalty. Tocchet didn't run at him from the other side of the ice. He had his back to him, and Tocchet shoved him face first and got the 2-minute boarding penalty instead of the 5-minute.
So the Jets get out the man advantage, set up the power play. And out comes Yamnov, Solani, Korolev, Brown, and Manson.
Solani and Curry talking things over. They played during the lockout on the same team in Helsinki, the Jokers. I don't know what they were called in Finland. They had the little jester thing on their sweaters. Is that what they were called? Jokers? You joker.
Here's Manson trying to lead the power play, but handed it right to Todd. Todd moves in, spins to the outside. Tied up, now gets loose. And now Solani comes up with it. Solani to center. Gets up to the line. Goes to the outside with it. Knocks it in deep. Behind the net to Korolev. Back to the point, Manson. Manson to Zhemnov. Zhemnov to Korolev. Korolev behind the net. Here's Korolev. Takes his time. Given lots of room. Gives it to Zhemnov. Zhemnov back. Brown. Zhemnov. Zhemnov in deep. Solani at the side. McSorley takes it. Can't get, well, he did get it out. It goes to Manson. Manson drags it back. 1:05 left in the penalty. Here it goes to Brown. Rink wide, Manson. Manson checked by Blake. Jets will regroup. Manson at center to Solani. Solani is checked. Gretzky. Dempson all the way down, and back to get it is Brown. 45 seconds left in the penalty to the Kings. The Kings lead by 1. 5.5 left in the second. Here's Brown. Center ice for Winnipeg. Drives it in. Now Emerson trying to work it in front. He can't. McSorley with Conacher takes the lead pass. But he missed it. It goes all the way down the ice. Shoveled it. Behind now for Quintal. Quintal sends it up the middle. All the way down the ice. McSorley goes back for it. Behind the net. It's left there for Petit. Sends it off the glass. Knocked down by Quintal. Petit missed it. Now Quintal has to go out to center. And it will run out the penalty. Here's Gretzky. As Tocchet steps out of the penalty box. Gretzky puts it across to Petit. Petit approached by Quintal. Dumped it in. Crazy hop kicked away by Shovelday. Now Tkachuk. Ahead for Eastwood. Eastwood gets to center. Pass went by Tkachuk. Tocchet checked by Emerson. Emerson chased by Perot. Now Quinn moves in. Here's Quinn in front. Perot backhand. It goes back now to Snell. Snell looks out. Can't get it there. Newman with it for Winnipeg. And he dumps it all the way down. Back for it goes Blake. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the second. 2-1 the Kings lead the Jets. Here's Gillen. Gillen gains the line. His shot, that goes wide. Drake missed it. Picked up by Perot. Yannick Perot gets the pass out to center ice to John Gross, who gains the jet line against Shannon. Dumps it wide. Perot moves in. In behind the net to Quinn. Quinn is slashed. There's going to be a penalty to Thompson. Puck goes free, and Kerry Fraser blows it down. Kings will go to the power play.
This commercial is for anyone who wants a new Jeep but has to watch their budget. In other words, almost everybody. Eastwood Jeep Eagle makes this amazing 2-for-1 offer. Your choice of 2 Jeeps for one very low price. Choose either a 95 Cherokee Sport or 95 Grand Cherokee Laredo for only $4.99 a month, plus free oil changes for life. Only at Eastwood Jeep Eagle. Cherokee Sport or Grand Cherokee Laredo, only $4.99 a month and free oil changes for life. See dealer for details. Eastwood Jeep Eagle, 1424 Regent, 661-5337.
Right now, when you pick up a mega meal, you could also be picking up $10,000. Because you could win 10 grand when you buy the Buckets of Cash Mega Meal. A complete family feast of chicken, Kentucky nuggets, fries and gravy, plus chocolate gold coins and more. Or you can pick up the Bucks Combo for a shot at 10 grand. The Buckets of Cash Mega Meal. Loads of food, loads of cash. So dig in.
Brent Thompson takes 2 for slashing, but could have had more. Kerry Fraser followed him around, had the arm up on the original slashing call. First slash, the arm goes up. Kerry Fraser's got it up. There it goes. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. And Brent Thompson got 2 for slashing. He let him get away with the first 2. Called the third one. I saw a Detroit game this year. Paul Coffey had 3 slashing penalties on the same play. Play exactly like that.
A triple slashing minor. Well, in that particular one, Thompson got a little heavier. A little more wood on each of the 5.
And once the arm went up, it got real heavy.
Here's Gretzky. Gets it to Snell. Snell puts it in behind the goal. Now it goes to Quinn to Gretzky. By him. Snell moves in. Leaned into by Quintal. Newman picks it up. Gets it ahead to Drake. And it's knocked down by a high stick. So I get more reaction. Here's Joe Pascucci.
Well, the souvenir booth here at the Winnipeg Jets All Sports Store rather busy, and is it busier than usual?
Yes, more so because I think it might be the last game for the Jets. It's a little bit more busy. We don't usually get too many customers during the game, but as you see, we have a little bit of a lineup here. So it's a little more busier, yes. Yeah.
Apparently they're lined up about 5 deep at some of the souvenir booths, and even more so during the intermissions.
Let's hope it's not collector's items they're buying.
Here's Snell. Gets the pass to Quinn. To Snell. Gains the line. Dumps it in. Gretzky. A minute 24. Left in the penalty to the Jets. Newman spins with it. Tried it for Drake. Blake moves in. He's checked by Drake. Now Blake gets back and takes it from Drake. Here's Blake's pass wide of Gretzky all the way down, and Newman goes for it. And it's icing. In the second intermission, we will carry the media conference with Jeff President Barry Shankborough. Do you think he'll have anything new to say? Any idea?
I would speculate that it will be another extension while we're meeting, and hopefully we can get something done. And to me, that would be a good sign, because you know that if they are going to move, they would like to move as quickly as possible and get things set up for next season. So I think the longer that they're talking, the more optimistic the people of Winnipeg can be.
Face-off in the circle to the right of Kelly Hrudey, 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets. A minute 5 left in the Jet penalty to Thompson. Here's Curry, gets it back to Blake. Rob Blake, whose play has really picked up since Rogie Vachon took over as coach, gets it over to Snell. He drives it in. Stopped behind the net by Chevrolet to Manson. Manson around for Eastwood. Eastwood knocks it away, and going back to get it is Curry.
Good play by Shovelday to stop that shoot-in. It was a hard shoot-in. Shovelday out quickly, stopped it, and let Manson get it out.
Curry puts it into the Jets on. Shovelday out of the goal. Can't find room, and then Manson got there to bail him out. Dumped it the distance. Back forward is Snell. Jets have outshot the Kings 24-10. The Kings lead it 2-1. Just over 2 minutes left in the second. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Winnipeg. Manson behind the net. Manson's pass just missed by Tkachuk, who was onside. He goes all the way down the ice. Here's Rudy. Sends it around on the glass. Takes a weird hop. Curry pops it out to center. Newman and flips it back in. And that runs out the penalty to Thompson. Puck in the Kings zone. With it is Robert Long. Check by Emerson. Emerson falls on top of it. Now it goes to Tkachuk with Olczyk. His pass to Olczyk. Olczyk one-hands it in front. Newman and moves in. Knocks it behind the net for Olczyk. Olczyk trying to free himself up. Curry gets it back to Newman. Shot wide. Emerson goes after it. Emerson to Tkachuk. Tkachuk back for Emerson. To Tkachuk. Tkachuk escapes long, moves right in front. Can't get it away. Now it goes to Newman. Rob Blake was looking very guilty there. Looked over at Fraser, but there was no call. Just under 1 minute left in the second period.
Some of the people that Joe has talked to have talked about the jobs that would be lost. You look at the sports community in Winnipeg, the radio stations, the newspapers, and it really would be a sad event because what would they be covering? I'm such a big curling fan, but how many curling bonspiels can you cover in a winter? How many people do you need to cover a curling bonspiel?
Well, there'd be, 43 dates that people would normally keep at the Winnipeg Arena that may not be there next year.
We'll be carrying the media conference in the second intermission, the upcoming intermission, with Barry Shakero. So if there's anything at all that's new, we'll carry it for you here on CKND. Here's McSorley. Takes it in behind the net. Watched there by Shamnov. McSorley sends it up the right side. That goes all the way down the ice. A race for it, Drews, and Shannon got there first.
John Drews came over from the Washington Capitals and provided some spark offensively, but not a whole lot lately. Daryl Shannon has played very well for the Winnipeg Jets, and there's another guy that you look around, he was figured on as being the 6th or even the 7th defenseman going into camp. And yet Daryl Shannon, in my opinion, would be the 2nd defenseman now on the Winnipeg Jets. I think he's worked his way and played well enough that he would be considered the 2nd defenseman right behind Teppo Newman.
Couldn't agree more. Daryl Shannon's come a long way this year, given the opportunity and the ice time. Here's McSorley. Gives it to Conacher. Conacher dumps it all the way down the ice. Back forward is Quintal, chased by Todd. Quintal puts it behind the net. Newman ahead now for Solani. 3-on-2. Solani with Shamnov and Korolev. Solani goes to the outside and is tied up by McSorley. Now Conacher for Todd. By him, stopped at center. 19 seconds in the period. Shamnov and Petit looked like they were going to go at it down in the corner. Then cooler heads prevailed. Shamnov popped Jeff Courtnall the other night, about a week or so ago, with a good left to the mug, and down went Courtnall. So he's experimenting with a new part of his game.
3-on-2, then the Jets never even got a shot. Shamnov and Petit, whose stick is who? Petit has already thrown Jamnov's stick away. The soccer style of Alexei Jamnov.
Seconds left in this second period. Gretzky against Shamnov. Now it goes to Petit. Petit looks for room, gets it to Gretzky. It goes now to Quintal, who brings it out for Winnipeg, gives it to Shamnov. He hands it to Solani in flight. Solani shot wide. Here's Newman and 2 seconds left. Newman lets it go, and the period comes to a close. So we'll be back to hear what Barry Shankrow has to say as we join the conference live. It's 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets after 2.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers season tickets are your best bet for exciting entertainment and exceptional value. Grandstand season tickets start at just $89 each, or choose from one of our special packages. The Pick 10. Get 10 regular season home game vouchers and your game ticket to redeem as you like. The Family Pack. Buy 1 adult season ticket and get up to 3 youth tickets for just $79 each. There's nothing like seeing it in the stands. It's fun. It's affordable. Call 784-2583 today and catch it live in 95.
While leaving your home unoccupied, have someone check it every 24 hours. Maintain heat in cooler months to prevent the pipes from freezing. Turn off the water. Install an alarm system to ward off intruders and alert authorities to invasion. When it comes to fire or theft, precious items can't always be replaced.
Insurance policies vary, so ask someone who knows. Your Premier broker understands. Insurance Tips is brought to you by the Premier Insurance Group. Group advantages with independent service.
At Midway, there's no problem. Price is too high? No problem. We'll beat any dealer's best price guaranteed. No cash? No problem. Pay nothing down and make no payments for up to 120 days. Credit trouble? No problem. No credit application will be refused. Hurry to Midway Chrysler, 730 Portage Avenue.
All the fun of Monopoly is back at McDonald's. You could win
$1 million?
It's bigger and better than last time with $10 million in prizes to be won. It's supersized excitement. You could win a Dodge Viper, shopping sprees, cruises,
Sega Game Gear with Sonic Triple Trouble.
Get 2 chances to win when you buy any of these favorites. You could win big instantly or collect a Monopoly and win. So go directly to McDonald's and play the Monopoly game.
Have you had your break today?
Welcome back. Is the emotional roller coaster ride over? Barry Shankrow is ready to make the latest statement on the Jets' viability. Let's go to that press conference.
Thank you very much for all coming here today. Mr. Shankrow has no formal statement to make at this time. However, he is here to answer any questions you may have regarding the meetings that took place earlier today in Ottawa. I'd like to call upon Barry Shankrow.
Okay.
For questions.
Barry, are the Jets for sale? No. We met in Ottawa, and I haven't had a chance to speak to my partners. And tomorrow I'm going to speak to my partners, probably speak to representatives of the governments, and hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow we'll be able to have a press conference and let you know exactly what's happening. But until I speak to the other people, as I said before, May 1st, we weren't going to do anything, and today was May 2nd, and I was in Ottawa all day.
Barry, what's your gut feeling right now? Is the deal dead? Is there a chance that the Jets can stay in Winnipeg?
Well, until I speak to my partners, the deal as the option has expired. So whatever deal that was there is passed. I have to speak to my partners. I have to, I think, give a courtesy to and see if anybody else has any other ideas or any more money tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. But until I speak to my partners and to the province and the city and representatives of the business community, I won't make any further comment. Do you have any firm offers for the team now? No. Barry, you said the other night you weren't interested in keeping it here and having taxpayers pay the bill. Yet we heard out of Ottawa that there may be a situation where the federal government and the provincial government, if they were willing to fund the losses for another year, you would consider keeping it here. No, I think that you have to understand something. The idea of funding the losses was to buy time to find out whether we could build a building and keep the team here long term. On that basis, it was probably a wise investment for the government because they could get their money back either through the appreciation of the franchise, short-term or long-term, through the value of tax revenues and other things that would happen on a long-term basis. But I can't believe that anybody would want to keep the team here for 1 year and fund losses of $15 or $20 million for the sake of having a team here for 1 year. That makes no sense to me, and I can't believe it makes any sense to anybody.
It sounds like you want to get out of this agreement.
No, don't read I want to anything. I want to keep the team in Winnipeg, and I'd really appreciate it if you don't try to read anything into what I'm saying except exactly what I'm saying.
Sir, you may have you may not have any offers yourself, but there's been a feeling that the league has been sort of...
I have directed Mr. Bettman to field all calls. Anybody who calls me, I send them to Mr. Bettman, and the reason for that is because if the team has to be sold, the league is going to have to approve purchasers, and rather than me dealing with people prior to May 1st, Mr. Bettman could screen people and start the process so that I wouldn't receive 100 calls from 100 people who wouldn't be qualified by the league. So Mr. Bettman has in fact talked to people, but that's the purpose of that, and I had advised MEC a long time ago that that would be taking place.
Do you know if the MEC might possibly do to salvage this? What could be the solution here? Does the province step in? What's going to happen?
I have to speak to people tomorrow. I've spent a very hectic 3 days, and right now I wouldn't say that I would be very optimistic about the outcome of what's happening.
Gary Bettman has said repeatedly that they need somebody in Winnipeg with deep pockets. Could you and your partners still continue to run this franchise if an arena was built and you were allowed to manage it? Could you and your partners make the Jets viable in Winnipeg under that scenario?
I think that the first question is there enough money to build the building? That's the first question. The second question is, I don't know whether my partners any longer have an appetite to own this hockey team. And I haven't spoken to them about that. So you're asking me a question I can't give you an answer to. We did, for 4 years, this isn't something that happened in 4 days. For 4 years, have provided an option to anybody in Winnipeg to buy the team at far, far less than market value, on the premise that the team would stay here long term. It wasn't about building a building, it was about keeping the team in Winnipeg. And right now, there's no deal on the table that is long term able to keep the team in Winnipeg. And so, as of right now, that's where we stand. I did meet with the federal government today, and they are going to be holding discussions, and whether or not there is something that's going to happen between today and tomorrow, I can't answer you.
Has the guts of the deal changed? We hear there might be casino money involved in the problem. Now, if there is, how would the NHL feel about that?
I have not sat in meetings with the province, and so I don't know how the deal has changed or not. There's right now no deal in place, and that's all I can really say.
Is the NHL too rich for Winnipeg?
Well, I think, when you talk about is the NHL too rich for Winnipeg, is it too rich for Quebec, is it too rich on a basis of a private sector deal going forward? In other words, can somebody step forward and say, I'm going to invest in this hockey team and I have a chance to make money, whether that's 10% or 15%, however else you do, a purely business transaction? Yes, the NHL is too big for Winnipeg. And I think everybody knows that. If the NHL is going to stay in Winnipeg, it's not going to be on a business-like basis. And one of the problems you have with that is the NHL is looking for somebody to step up, or people to step up and be able to stand behind the franchise. And if the economics of the franchise don't make sense, then people are not going to, nor should they, stand up and put themselves into that position.
Well, our second intermission and that press conference continue. Barry Shankrell back from Ottawa, adamant that the MEC option to buy the club has come and gone, and they are now have fallen back in that situation. He has not had a chance to talk to his partners who also own the Jets, so he has not made much of a statement other than the fact the Jets are not moving at this point. We will have more throughout the telecast, but we have more hockey to tell you about. After 2, the Jets trail by 1. Our second intermission continues.
The WSO offers 2 more fine British imports.
Hello, I'm Bramwell Tovey of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, inviting you to take part in Jaguar Symphony Sweepstakes.
The final draw date is quickly approaching. On May 17th, the winner will choose from 3 incredibly grand prizes. The new Jaguar XJ6 sedan, a Jaguar XJ SC convertible, or $60,000 cash. Do you have your tickets for the Jaguar Symphony Sweepstakes? Call 946-9500 today.
Genuine imported Italian leather. Supple, sophisticated, beautiful, comfortable, durable. And the brick makes it affordable. During our leather sale, choose from our huge selection of genuine Italian leather and take 2 years to pay with no down payment and no interest. More styles, more colors, and nobody gives you more for less. Sofas starting at just $688. On now for a limited time. Sale prices plus take 2 years to pay on our huge selection of genuine Italian leather. Nobody beats the brick.
Explore your chances to win $250,000 in the Big Win Quest for Cash lottery. Second prize choices include a year-round recreation package, a world cruise, a Triple E fifth wheel, Dodge Ram pickup, and cash. And there'll be 66 early bird draws of $1,000 each. So call today. You could win $250,000. Or hit the road on a Harley. Proceeds to the St. Boniface Hospital Research Foundation.
This commercial is for anyone who wants a new Jeep but has to watch their budget. In other words, almost everybody. Eastwood Jeep Eagle makes this amazing 2-for-1 offer. Your choice of 2 Jeeps for one very low price. Choose either a 95 Cherokee Sport or 95 Grand Cherokee Laredo for only $499 a month, plus free oil changes for life. Only at Eastwood Jeep Eagle. Cherokee Sport or Grand Cherokee Laredo, only $499 a month and free oil changes for life. See dealer for details. Eastwood Jeep Eagle, 1424 Regent, 661-5337.
Real Plus, made for these families of Canada's Olympic hopefuls.
My daughter's Anne Momini, first time she made national team. That was a very proud moment.
Michael Smith is our brother.
I like to call her wherever she is and whenever I want.
We talk on the phone a lot after every competition.
In England, China,
Australia, New Zealand.
No plan offers you more rewards options than MTS Real Plus. Earned automatically on every call for free long distance and more. We guarantee it in writing.
The Real Plus plan really helps out.
Real Plus, made for them, made for you.
Play Safeway's Score and Win. With a Jet Score, you could win an AST Advantage desktop computer, the gourmet collection of fine kitchen appliances from Sultan, a Polaroid Captiva instant camera, or $300 in MasterCard traveler's checks from the Bank of Montreal. You could also win a trip for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays. Safeway's participating products, Betty Crocker Fruit Roll-Ups, and Basel Margarine. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
What are you doing there?
In today's world of beers, Molson Dry is in a world all its own.
Presents Red Hot Trivia, brought to you by the Red Hot family of Dirt Devil vacuums by Royal. Who assisted on Wayne Gretzky's record-breaking 802nd career goal? We'll have the answer right after this.
If you love the powerful little Dirt Devil hand vac, then you'll also love the big one, the Dirt Devil Upright Deluxe. All the attachments are built right into the Upright Deluxe, so you can clean everything from floor to ceiling. And like every Dirt Devil, it's got loads of power. In fact, nearly 3 times the power of our original Upright.
If you've been happy with your hand vac, then get a Dirt Devil Upright Deluxe. It's the team that cleans. From Dirt Devil.
Who assisted on Wayne Gretzky's record-breaking 802nd career goal? Need a hint? 2 players were credited with assists on Gretzky's goal. It happened on March 23rd, 1994 at the Los Angeles Forum. Wayne Gretzky had been closing in on Gordie Howe's NHL record of 801 goals all season. On March 20th, Gretzky tied Howe's longtime record with 2 goals versus the San Jose Sharks, setting the stage for the big event 3 nights later.
Early. Linden joins the rush, gets the pass, can't get a shot away, and the Kings quickly back. Robitaille coming in with Gretzky trailing. Gretzky gets the puck on the way to McSorley. Centered into Gretzky. Scores! Wayne Gretzky! There it is! Number 802.
For Marty McSorley, setting up Gretzky's goal was a big thrill.
I was really glad to be a part of it and to be that close a part of it. I've kept game sheets. I've I have the sticks that I use in the game, and to me that's very special because Wayne's such a special player. I'm a big fan of his, so the fact that to be involved in 802 is a special thrill. It may grow as time goes on.
Wayne Gretzky's 802nd goal, assisted by Marty McSorley and Luc Robitaille. Another Red Hot Trivia, brought to you by the Red Hot family of Dirt Devil vacuums by Royal. A promotional consideration has been paid by the following.
No matter what you drive, and no matter when you drive it, from extreme cold to extreme heat, count on Delco batteries. Dependable power.
Tonight's second period NHL update is brought to you by Reimer Express. 3 other games going on. Flyers get a shutout victory over the Islanders. Brian Leetch has been on a roll, and that could continue this evening, while Washington has 5 wins in their last 6 games, and they look to be on to a victory against the Penguins. While here, Winnipeg made up 1 in the second period, but still trail at this point. You're now up to date on the NHL tonight, courtesy of Reimer Express. Third period action is on the way.
All right, my Canadian Tire credit card points added up in no time. Now I can use them on anything in the whole store. What should I use my points on? Something like this or something like that? Excuse me.
Only the Canadian Tire card makes it easy to redeem points instantly for merchandise or great discounts right in the store.
I'll use my points on a new saw. Yes. Hi, I'd like to get this saw and use my points.
The only hard part's deciding what you want.
Wait, maybe a tool chest.
Oh, there's a lot more to Canadian Tire for a lot less.
It's celebration time at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle. It's our 5th anniversary, and we're now Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. For 5 years, we've been providing the same quality service, the same great product, and the best prices in the West. During our anniversary sale, we're hoping to become Canada's largest volume dealership. We're slashing prices on all Jeep Grand Cherokees, Jeep Cherokees, Eagle Visions, and Talons. You won't believe the savings at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. 1430 Ellis, just a slap shot from the arena.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by Reimer Express, Park Pontiac Buick GMC, and by Athletes Wear, with 4 Winnipeg locations.
Both clubs at full strength as the third period is underway. 2-1, the Los Angeles Kings lead the Winnipeg Jets. Here's Manson back in his own zone. Manson looks ahead to center ice. The pass goes by Korolev, grabbed there by McSorley. McSorley to Blake. Blake gives it away to Solani. Solani hits the goal post. The wide open side, and it came off the inside of the post. Now long. Conacher it is. Dumps it into the Jet zone. And with it is Manson. Manson's pass for Zhemnov. Zhemnov stops, looks ahead, gets the pass to center to Emerson. He gains the line. Emerson stops, dumps it in deep. Petit goes after it. Tkachuk busts in first. Tkachuk puts it in the corner. With it there is Eastwood. Eastwood tied up by Lacroix. Now it goes to Tkachuk, to Emerson. Emerson puts it out in front. Talkett is checked. Eastwood went down easily, and that didn't pull Carey Fraser. Now, with it is Quintal. Quintal dumps it into the King zone. Back forward is Sador. Chased there by Eastwood. Sador one-hands it. That goes all the way down, and Chris King goes back to get it for Winnipeg. Ahead now to Quintal. He gives it to Newman. He dumps it in, and Sador has it for Los Angeles. Nearing the 2-minute mark of the third period, here's Perreault. Gets up to the jet line. Perreault trying to work over. Goes to the outside. Puts it in to Quinn. Quinn back for Perreault. Behind the net. It's taken there by Drews. Drews looks at Perreault. Dropped it instead to Quinn. Quinn centered it. And now it's grabbed by Thompson to Gillen with King at center. Gillen gains the line. Dropped it to King. King lots of room. Moves in, lets it go. And Rudy the save as the King defense just kept backing in.
Chris Snell turns around and asks Kelly Rudy if he's all right. Hit him right in the midsection. That shot, Snell backed in and let Chris King tee it up. Teemu Selanne on the giveaway by Rod Blake has lots of time. Rudy's not set after the quick giveaway. It's off the inside of the post and comes right straight out. Nice drop pass by Randy Gillen. Everybody backs in. King's got all sorts of time inside the top of the circle. Lets it go, and Kelly Rudy's out. Make the save.
Has been a longer season for Timo Solani than for most of the players. You mentioned Yeri Curry earlier, having played for Joe Corrette at the beginning of the year and then coming here after the lockout. For Curry, it may continue. For Solani, it won't. After tonight, Kings of the game tomorrow night in Chicago and still a playoff hope. Here's Blake, gets to center. Dumps it into the Jets. On back to get it is Manson. Manson in behind his goal. If the Kings win both, they qualify. Here's Manson. Out to center. Gets it to Martin. He one-hands it in. Rudy. Ahead now to Drews. Drews gives it to Quinn, who moves out to center ice. Gets over the line. Quinn dropped it off to Perreault. Perreault trying to move in. He was checked and starting back for the Jets. Brown to Olczyk. Olczyk to Murray. Olczyk gains the line. It was offside. 2-1, the Kings lead.
Hey, who's that? It's nobody we know. It's Hank. Never thought he'd trade in his old GMC. He had that baby for years. Worked it every day. Wow, look at this machine. Pretty roomy. You can really stretch out in this. Pretty fancy, Hank. Got a whole new interior. And an airbag, too.
The 1995 Sierra.
It won't let me in. It says I have to take off my boots first.
Have you had your break today? We all need to get away. There's one place that's on your way. The sound of this, your break today. Have you had your break today? Easy time, take me down away. Take the break, the smiling day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Have you had your break today?
Some youngsters, they don't like the sound of that, and I don't like the sound of that, but although I didn't really like the sound of the press conference, although there wasn't a whole lot said by Barry Shankro, talking to his partners.
He was a little testy, wasn't he? He's a little tired. And
get on the plane, go to Ottawa, come back the same day. A hectic 3 days, as he said, and the press people, they want some answers, and Barry Shankro obviously wasn't going to give them any.
Now they don't have any yet. So there's still life. Here's Drake. Emerson it is, trying to work it in front. It goes back to the corner. Now stopped at the point by Brown. A shot. That's blocked. Tkachuk trying to drag it out. Conacher gets it ahead now to McSorley. Pass on the left side to Long. Long trying to work it by Brown. And it's picked up by Manson. Manson's pass. It went wide of Tkachuk all the way down the ice. Blake back to get it. And it's icing against the Winnipeg Jets. Could this be the last period? Or will it be back again next year?
Matt Conacher, one of those players that's been around and came over from New Jersey, and then he re-signed as a free agent with the LA Kings. His experience, he played in the Wayne Gretzky Tour this year, and I thought that was a nice gesture on the part of Gretzky, bring his friends along and give them some action, even though it was in an exhibition-type atmosphere.
Shots on goal, 26-11. The Jets have outshot the Kings, but the Kings have made good on two of theirs, both in the first period by Curry and Blake. The Jets got one back in a second by Gillen. Dallas Stars done for the season. They're 3 points ahead of the Kings. If the two teams, the Stars and the Kings, finish tied, Dallas would get the nod and more victories. Here's Solani. Dropped it up to Shamnov. Out to Solani. Solani trying to work it through. Now it goes to Shamnov. Shamnov looks back to Quintal. Shot deflected by Gillen, and it just missed. Gillen has scored the goal and missed just a couple of times on pretty good opportunities. Here's McSorley. He gets to center. Gets up to the line. Dropped it off. Gretzky moves in front. And Tocchet couldn't get the handle on it. Here's Korolev. Gets it out now to Quintal. To Shamnov. Shamnov gains the line. Shamnov to Korolev by him. And it's picked up and brought back by Perreault. Out to center ice. Perot looks for room. His pass knocked down. Jamnov turns it around. Jamnov, check. Korolev follows up. Korolev to the outside. Gets it to Jamnov. Jamnov crowded off the puck. Manson gets it to Brown. Off break, it goes to Petit. 4:40 gone, third period. Kings 2, Jets 1. Bruce to Petit. Sent into the Jets on, and with it there is Brown. Brown moves to center, gives it to Gillen. Long shot. Kicked away by Rudy. Drake and Quinn battle along the boards. King fished it out, put it rink wide. Gillen is there, slides it behind the net. King busts in after it. Here's King. King moving with it. In behind the net. King shot! He celebrates, but the light did not go on. In fact, play is continuing. Here's Brown to Manson. Manson's long shot. Rudy kicked it aside. Petit hits it around. Now Quinn run into by Murray. Pass goes to Drew. Drew gets to the line. Stopped there by Manson. Manson's pass to Murray. Murray dumped it in. And back for it is Sador. They may review that when there's a stoppage in play. Here's Drew. It's dumped into the jet zone. Darryl Shannon ahead for Olchek. He gains the line. Olchek shot. It goes in front. Martin can't get his stick free. And now McSorley gives it to Long. Long check by Shannon. Back with it is Thompson. Wraps it around for Martin. Beaten to it by Snell. Knocked in behind. And with it is Shannon. His pass goes outside the zone. Now knocked back in by the Kings. Thompson there to pick it up for Winnipeg. Watched by Conacher. Thompson to Martin. To Olchek. Olchek in over the line. Here's Olchek backhand. Save rebound in front. And Murray from right in front tried to jam it in. And Kelly Rudy stood his ground. Here's Quintal. Gets it up to the Kings line. Stopped there by Long. He gives it to Curry. Dumped into Jet territory. Back to get it is Newman. And 2-1. The Kings lead. 6:40 gone in the third period. Tempo Newman on the move to center. He gets in across the line. Newman stops. Looks in front. Trying to beat Eastwood. It was broken up by Blake. Here's the pass to Quinn. It was over 2 lines.
Kelly Rudy has made the big save. The fans don't like the call. Kerry Fraser is going upstairs to take a look at this one. Randy Gillett came around. Kelly Rudy's nodding like he had it. And you know how honest goaltenders all are. Kelly Rudy comes across. This isn't going to be very good because it's from the other side. Rudy's got the leg down. Chris King has got the hand up. Hard to tell with Kelly Rudy down in that position. Michel Petit's in the way. Kelly Rudy's got the leg down. Ooh, does he pull it out with his hand?
Well, they'll have a better look in the replay booth because they have the camera directly over the net. And unless Rudy's body was on top of the puck, they'll be able to check and see whether Chris King has tied it up or not.
No goal. Kim Camarda has a ringside seat, all dressed in white, and that's a big dressed in white. Kim Camarda, the PA announcer, and he saw Kerry Fraser shaking his head.
Great white whale.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. There's our friend. What a true Jet fan he is. Tim Camarda, PA announcer at every game here with the Winnipeg Jets, and Chris King is shaking his head.
15,562. It's a sellout at the Old Ice Palace tonight. Newman into Quintal. He dumps it into the Los Angeles zone. Going forward is Blake against Eastwood. 4 of them battle for it down in the corner. Now it's grabbed by Emerson. Gives it to Tkachuk. Tkachuk along the boards. Check Gretzky. Sends it out to center. And with it there, Quintal. Quintal poked it ahead. Lacroix sends it back. And Quintal at his line. Gets it over to Newman. Newman's pass to center ice. That's broken up by Gretzky. Gretzky gets up to the jet line. Gives it to Quinn. He shot at the goal post. Now Tkachuk starts back for Winnipeg. Here's Tkachuk. shot. Trying to go through, and Blake takes it away. Over 2 lines to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass, that goes to Perreault. Now it's thrown in front, and Brown gives to Korolev. Korolev's pass, that goes to Emerson. He splits the defense backhand, and Rudy grabbed it as Emerson flew into the net behind him.
Whether you're riding for pleasure or to put yourself to the test, you want your miles to be trouble-free. At Athletes Wear, we've got a great selection of bikes. Renegade Mountain Light 530 mountain bikes, men's or women's, 15-speed Shimano SIS shifting, Columbrium steel frame, and cantilever brakes, only $199.99. Make the right choice. Winnipeg's own Athletes Wear. 4 great locations.
All the fun of Monopoly is back at McDonald's. You could win.
$1 million?
It's bigger and better than last time with $10 million in prizes to be won. It's super-sized excitement. You could win a Dodge Viper, shopping sprees, cruises,
Sega Game Gear with Sonic Triple Trouble.
Get 2 chances to win when you buy any of these favorites. You could win big instantly or collect a Monopoly and win.
Here are the 4 winning program numbers of the Winnipeg Jets Special Edition lineup program giveaway. One of these lucky programs wins the grand prize, a pair of Jets season tickets. That's what it is. If you have a winning number, take your program to the Jets office during business hours before May 12th. Winners' names will be published in the Winnipeg Sun on Thursday.
Dan Quinn with the long shot that had Tim Cheveldae beaten from almost the boards. Hit the post, went out. At the other end, Kelly Rudy gets a rolling puck and gets a bounce. He's got his glove out, easy to scoop. Emerson tried to chop it away, but he couldn't. Barry Shankarow looks on, and we all hope that Barry Shankarow and his group will find a way to make it work here in Winnipeg.
Here's McSorley with it for Los Angeles. He dumps it out, and back with it is Manson at his line. Manson's pass stopped by Long. Now it goes to McSorley. Dumped into the Jet zone. 2-1, the Kings lead. Just under 12 minutes left in the third period. Korolev, his pass for Solani. That was intercepted, turned around. Brought back by Conacher. To Curry, back for Conacher, wrapped up by Korolev. Korolev's pass for Shamnov, broken up by Long. He turns in the neutral zone, sends it back down to McSorley. Shadowed by Shamnov. McSorley puts it into Jet territory, and with it is Manson. Over to Brown. Brown looks into the middle, now sends it rink wide for Solani. And it was offside.
Teemu Solani looks on at the linesman, didn't like the call. There's been a couple of funny calls. You called a 2-line pass to Wayne Gretzky on that last shift that I agreed with you. I thought it was a 2-line pass, and the linesman decided to wave that one off.
They're getting ready for the playoffs.
Getting ready for the playoffs.
Don't play around with high prices. Come to Canadian Tire, your sports headquarters.
We talked about Solani and Curry having played in Finland. So did Temple Newman, who's up there now. Gretzky, Tarkin, and Lacroix up front for Los Angeles. Gillen, King, and Drake for Winnipeg. 2-1, the Kings lead. Here's Gillen with it. Gillen takes it behind the net. Trying to work out the other side, and it goes for Gretzky. The captain of the Kings moves to center, gets it over on the left side to Target. Target centers, and Newman starts back for Winnipeg. His pass for Drake. Drake gets to the line, nearly got by Sidor. Sidor stops, Newman goes in after him, and now it's grabbed by Lacroix. Lacroix pursued by Newman. It goes to Petit. Drives it into the Jet zone. Target in deep after it. He's got some time, looks out. Now Perreault. Lost it in the skates of Gillen. Jets dump it out. And with it is Drake, along with King. Drake gets over the line, trying to beat Petit. King goes after it along the board. And now it's brought away by Quinn. Quinn with Bruce and Perreault. The pass for Bruce. Bruce against Thompson, puts it across. And with it now, Darryl Shannon. He's got some room on the left side. Gets over center. Just dumps it in over top of the goal. In for check to Martin. A shot. And the save by Rudy. A one-timer by Craig Martin. Here's Brown. His pass to Murray. Murray is checked. Perreault gets it over now to Conacher. Conacher against Brown. Conacher stops, feeds it in front. It goes off Shannon. With it is Gross. Gross has 4 goals on the season against the Jets. Now it goes to Olczyk. Olczyk gains the line, goes outside, and dropped pass to nobody. And now it's knocked in behind the net. McSorley walks there by Eastwood. And it's dumped all the way down the ice. Back forward is Shannon. 9.5 left in the third period. 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets. Olczyk to Mike Eastwood. He gets over the line on the outside. Eastwood throws it in front as he's hammered by Blake. It goes back to Numminen. Numminen's pass, and Eastwood, who is a little slow coming out, understandably, was offside.
Kurt, I get to pick the Molson 3 stars, and you know how I love the goaltenders. Well, Kelly Hrudey has really... Nobody's going to argue with me on Kelly Hrudey about 3 stars tonight. He's played very well.
You can't give them all 3.
Can't give them all 3. I'd like to. It's hard to believe the Jets are showing no signs of fatigue. Craig Martin tees one up. Hrudey staying on his feet, makes the save, kicks it out to his defenseman. After their flight last night, they arrived about 1:30. A tough, emotional game against the Blackhawks, and yet the Jets have played very well here against the Kings. Mike Eastwood goes in, and Rob Blake, who is playing with about 80%, he has one of those upper groin pulls, takes Eastwood heavily into the boards. Good clean check. One of the things the Kings are worried about is Rob Blake playing that physical style that they're afraid he'll get hurt.
Once again, here are those winning program numbers in the Winnipeg Jets Special Edition lineup program giveaway. And the winners' names will be published in the Winnipeg Sun on Thursday. If you have a winning number, take your program to the Jets office during business hours before the 12th of May. Here's Numminen. Numminen gets in across the Kings line. Dropped it back to Tkachuk. Tkachuk into Numminen. Behind the net now for Emerson. Emerson takes it to the corner. Lost it to Gretzky. Gretzky checked by Emerson. It goes to Kintal. Over now to Numminen. Numminen's pass to Tkachuk. Off him. Gretzky turns it around. Dumps it in. And going back is Kintal. 8:45 left in the season for the Winnipeg Jets. Here's Numminen. Dumps it out over center. 2-1. The Kings lead it. Here's Sador to Petit to Druce. Fired wide of the Jet goal. Perreault goes after it with Brown. Now Shamnov in behind his goal. Gets it ahead to Korolev. Looks rink wide for Solani. Pass broken up by McSorley. McSorley dumps it in. The Kings have only had 1 shot in this third period. In fact, only 5 in the game. Puck is in the Jet zone. Brown goes after it. Did I say 5 and 11 in the game? 5 in each period prior to this one. Here's Korolev. Gets in across the Kings line. Korolev looks for a trailer, then dumps it away. Solani at the side. And covering up was Hrudey. Now it's picked up by the Kings. It's dumped all the way down the ice. Going back is Manson, and it's icing against the Los Angeles Kings. 2-1, the Kings lead in the third.
For only $4.99 a month, plus free oil changes for life. Only at Eastwood Jeep Eagle. Cherokee Sport or Grand Cherokee Laredo. Only $4.99 a month and free oil changes for life. See dealer for details. Eastwood Jeep Eagle, 1424 Regent, 661-5337.
The Los Angeles Kings are hoping to jump up into a tie with the San Jose Sharks. They'll lose because of the wins, but San Jose has 1 game left. That's at home against Vancouver, and LA plays in Chicago tomorrow night. And then the Kings could jump ahead of Dallas. Philadelphia, without Eric Lindros, beat the Islanders 2-0. Florida beats the Rangers. And Washington, Peter Bondra with a couple more goals, beats Pittsburgh. Jaromir Jagr had a couple points in that one. He's only 1 point behind Lindros.
Here's Manson at center. It's 2-1. The Kings lead the Jets. McSorley goes back for it. McSorley flips it high, and Manson back at his line. Gets it over now to Brown. Brown's pass to Gillen. Gillen gains the line. Lets it go, blocked by Blake. Long comes up with it for Los Angeles. Looks across. King anticipates. Comes back with it. King centers it. Blake knocked it away. And with it is long. Ahead for Curry. Dump to center. With it there is Manson. King gives to Brown. Brown brings it to center, dumps it in wide of the King's goal. Actually knocked into the corner. Now King trying to work it. Blake puts it behind the net. Grabbed there by Gillen. Gillen's pass for Drake behind the goal. Drake trying to work it. Pass picked off by Conacher. He sends it to center, and with it there is Brown. To Manson. Fired wide of the Los Angeles goals to Dorr. Finds some room up the left side, just dumps it in. Kings content to stand back.
Everything out and in front of them, and then as soon as they get the red line, they just shoot it in.
Here comes Eastwood for Winnipeg, cutting at the net. Eastwood shot, and again Rudy is there. Rudy looks very, very confident tonight.
Mike Eastwood with the chance goes right around Michel Petit. Nice little pass by Dave Manson, and Petit is caught flat-footed, dives. Eastwood could have cut all the way across, but decides to shoot. And Kelly Rudy is there, jams the corner, and Eastwood's got nothing to shoot at. Eastwood pulls it to his forehand, which he should, but you have to go way wide when you have a bad angle, and he didn't go wide enough. Kelly Rudy's there to make the save.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right of Rudy. Jensen had 37 shots. 13 of them here in the third period. 6.5 left. Kachuk wins the draw to Newman, and shot! And it went over top. Now Quintal moves it. He shot. Rudy the save. It's picked up by the Kings again, and Gretzky feathers it out. Going back forward is Newman. Newman's pass to center ice. That's taken by Emerson with Kachuk. Emerson goes outside against Petit. Dumps it toward the goal, kicked away by Rudy. Here's Kachuk in the corner. Back to Newman. Into the corner, Kachuk. In deep for Emerson. Back to Kachuk. Shot! And Rudy kicked it out. Here comes Gretzky with Tocchet. Gretzky in over the line. Here's Gretzky. Fakes it. Shot, big, big, Chevrolet. Quintal knocked it to center. McSorley gives it to Tocchet. To Blake. To Tocchet. His shot. That goes wide. In with it is Brown. Brown dumps it over center. And all the way down the ice. Back forward goes Blake. Blake sends it ahead now to Perreault. Perreault to Drews. Over the jet line. Drews to the outside. Looks for a trailer. Now puts it to the corner. Grabbed there by Quinn to Perreault. Perreault forced along the boards by Brown. Korolev is there with Quinn. Drews pounces on the puck. Puts it back into the crowd. Manson trying to bat it out. Manson is checked. It goes down to Quinn. Quinn looks in front. Drews couldn't get it. Here's McSorley's shot. That was deflected. And Chevrolet came up with a save.
The B.F. Goodrich TA Performance Radio.
Goes down, Kachuk over top. And that's Tim Chevrolet's biggest save of the night.
Kings scored on their first two shots of the hockey game by Curry and Blake. Jets scored in the second period. Gillen. And that's it to this point. 4:46 left in the third period. 2-1 Los Angeles. Face-off won by the Kings. Petit from the point. Shot goes wide. It's on the mesh. Manson takes it off. Manson puts it in the corner. Conacher slides it rink wide. Manson goes after it. Ahead for King. Off him. Grabbed by Petit. Drives it back into the Jet zone, and Brown has it. 4.5 left. Brown can't get it out. Picked up by Conacher. In front. Curry missed the net. Now it goes to Manson. To King. To Drake. Checked by Sador. Manson. To center ice for Winnipeg. Pass one off the skate of Curry. Curry waits. Dumps it in. Kings content to wait for the Jets in the neutral zone. Here's Brown. Hits it to Drake at center. Drake knocks it in. Sador goes back for it. Over now to Petit. Petit's pass. Dropped at center ice by Quintal. Dumped into the Jet zone. King and Petit had a collision.
Kurt is our last CKND the last game of the year for the Winnipeg Jets, and I'd just like to thank all the crew and yourself. It's a pleasure always coming to Winnipeg, and I know the guys, John Sapala and Ed Milliken, down in the truck, working under adverse conditions, as they say. They can make fries down in the chip wagon that we use here at CKND to do the game. It's funny, we have ESPN here, Prime Ticket. They have great big mobiles outside parked to do their game, and we have our little bread truck down underneath. Yeah, there's Dan Peugeot waving to his fans. The Surrey Rams football team. They always make it to the finals, can never win.
Here's Quintal. Gets it up to Eastwood. Eastwood gains the line back to Kachuk. Kachuk moves in front. Can't get the shot away. Now Newman slides into the corner. Eastwood and Sadar. After it, there it goes to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass to Quinn. 3:20 left. Third period. 2-1 Jets. Quinn gets over the jet line. Works it deep. Quinn has Quintal knock it away from him. Olczyk was skating away. Emerson was. Now it's picked up by Quinn. Quinn spins with it. Slides it behind the net. Yannick Perreault has it at his feet. Throws it in front. Off the stick of Quinn. Back to Perreault, trying to drag it in front. Here's Todd. Todd trying to wrap it to Quinn. Shot, and that corner was cut off by Chevelday. The Jets, Quintal gives it to Kachuk. Kachuk gets up to the line. Dumps a bouncer in on Rudy, and Rudy clears it to Perreault. To center ice Brown. His pass goes to Emerson. Emerson tied up by Bruce. Now Shamnoff pumps it in. 2.5 minutes left. Third period. 2-1. Kings lead. Kings dumping all the way down the ice. A huge game for the Los Angeles Kings. And it's icing. With this telecast, we conclude Safeway Score and Win contest for the year. As you know from watching the Jets on CKND this season, lucky Safeway shoppers have been awarded fabulous Score and Win prizes every time the Jets score. In addition to the 8 trips for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, we've also awarded 3 hat-trick instant vacations this season, all courtesy of Canadian Holidays. On behalf of Safeway, congratulations to all winners, and thanks to everyone who participated in Safeway Score and Win.
Always fun coming to do the CKND games because the guys who are on the crew and work are fans too, and a lot of places you go, the guys look on it as a job, but here are the cast and crew enjoy the Jets very much and are true fans, and you can tell by their work.
I remember I used to do games out of Boston on radio, and there was a guy there named Charles. It wasn't Charlie, he was Charles, was the operator. He wore a tuxedo, and he read a book during the entire game.
Oh, yes, really enjoyed it. We've been there, too, where your assistant upstairs will be doing her knitting during the games in Boston.
Face-off in a circle to the right of Kelly Rudy. Now it goes back here. Solani moving in. His shot, that's blocked. Now Solani takes it behind the goal. Comes out the other side. Solani looks back. Brown shot blocked in front. And Long gives to Blake, who dumped it out over center. 2 minutes left in the season for the Jets, falling overtime. 2-1. The Kings lead it. It's dumped into the Jet zone. Manson in behind his goal. Manson's pass, left side by Solani. Goes back into the King zone. Blake sends it to Long. Long sends it to the Jet line. Manson to Solani. He dumps it in. Gillen gives chase. Blake gets there. Rob Blake spins around, tries to clear, and does. Newman at center. Puts it in. McSorley to Blake. 1.5 minutes left. Blake gets to the line. Gives it to Curry. Curry in front, and Blake couldn't get the handle on it. Blake leaves it in the corner. Murray flips it high, and it's out of play.
Tim Chevelday looks over at the bench after a long season for the Winnipeg Jets, and you wonder about the lockout and how it affected different players. There's a number of goaltenders throughout the league that had subpar years, and I think a lot of it had to do with the lockout. You look at Patrick Waugh, you look at Bill Ranford, and you look at Tim Chevelday, who finished fairly well for the Jets last year. Look at his record in Detroit. He's a much better goaltender than his numbers showed here in Winnipeg. That training camp and the extended training camp that you normally have where you play some exhibition games and you get in the groove, and even if you don't get in the groove, you have time during the long season to get it back. Well, in the 48-game season, Tim Shovelday and a lot of other goaltenders throughout the league just never had that opportunity to get it back when you did have a bad game.
And yet others tried. Dominic Hatchett would be a prime example.
Jim Gary and Blaine Walker, two guys who played in the minors for 40 games before they came up and started in the NHL, and I think a lot of that had to do, they had the chance to play. They had a regular training camp.
As did Nikolai Hababulin. It goes back to the point. With it is Sador. Knocked it in behind the net. Jamov with it, a minute 10 left. Jets pound down by one as Newman takes it to center. He drives it in. Shovelday on his way out of the goal. Jets will go with 6 attackers. Here's Emerson. Back to the blue. Newman and shot. Deflected wide by Eastwood. Now Kachuk to Solani. Solani works it on the boards to Kachuk. Knocked away from him, and Newman and goes back to center. Jet net is empty. 47 seconds left. 2-1 Los Angeles. Eastwood and Quinn battle. Eastwood dumps it into the corner. Solani and Sador go after it there. Now Emerson trying to dig it out. 34 seconds. It goes now to Eastwood. Eastwood puts it back to Emerson. In traffic. Into the corner now, Solani. He's hit by Quinn. Solani fights off the check. Gets it to Sheridan. Shot! And it's held on to by Kelly Rudy with 21 seconds left.
And a little pushing and shoving after that shot. And another good save by Kelly Rudy. The fewest shots that the Jets have allowed against this year is 17. The LA Kings have only 13, and it's not likely they'll get 4 or 5. And the fewest ever that the Jets have allowed is 11. Jammed on with the wrist shot. Kelly Rudy saw it all the way, made the save look easy.
Well, shots on goal have been absolutely nothing where the Jets are concerned this year. Another prime example tonight, 42-13 the shots. But the score 2-1 for Los Angeles. Kelly Rudy. The difference. Now a timeout has been called by the Winnipeg Jets. Eastwood again. Fired the shot. 3 seconds. And the Kings come up with it. Janoff plans it wide. The game is over. And so is the season for the Winnipeg Jets. The Los Angeles Kings live to fight another day.
The Winnipeg Jets down and out after losing last night, out of the playoffs. And what a spirited, gutsy effort. A tired team flew back last night. Outshot the LA Kings 43-13. is for the Kings. It's almost a normal night when they give up 40 shots against.
And a spirited, gutsy effort by 15,562 who are still standing. There's Thomas Steen. 2-1. The Kings beat the Jets. Stand by for the Molson Freestar.
Kings Pat Conacher in the playoffs. A look at the Molson Cup standings. Alexei Zhamnov will finish ahead of Teemu Selanne and Tim Cheveldae. Los Angeles wins it 2-1 over the Winnipeg Jets, and the crowd is still here. Yes, they are getting loud. It is Save Our Jets. The campaign continues. We should know tomorrow whether the Jets are staying or going, and none of the fans are leaving. They want the players to come back out and give, I guess, another chance for the fans to say thank you to the Winnipeg Jets for what they have done this season. Yes, it has been a tough situation, but the fans are not leaving. They do not want to leave. They do not want to believe that the Winnipeg Jets are leaving forever. It was their final regular season game. We are yet to find out whether it will be their last ever game in Winnipeg. The crowd wanting the Jets, and the Jets are now coming back out for a last lap around the Winnipeg Arena just to say thank you very much to the fans. Over 15,000 here this evening. It is an emotional moment for Alexei Zhamnov and others. Let's have a listen to this crowd. About all the numbers, all the financial situations in regards to the Jets, but right now it is pure emotion that Chris King, the Winnipeg Jets, and the fans of this hockey team are feeling after this final regular season game for the 1994-1995 campaign. Nelson Emerson giving away some sticks to the fans who came out tonight knowing that their team did not have a chance at a postseason berth, but not knowing whether they would be back again to enjoy NHL hockey in Winnipeg. It is a touching moment, an emotional one, and the roller coaster continues in Winnipeg as we, the fans and the public, are still wondering whether this team will still be ours come tomorrow. An emotional time at the Winnipeg Arena. The Los Angeles Kings, though, ruin the party a little bit. They win it 2-1. Our post-game show continues on CKND Winnipeg TV.
Midway, there's no problem.
And the fans don't care that the Winnipeg Jets lost the final game of their season 2-1. They are now just starting to file out of the Winnipeg Arena. It was an emotional time, including Randy Gillen, who scored possibly the last goal in Winnipeg Jets history. We do not know. Gillen saying thank you to the fans, handing out some sticks. A Winnipegger grown up here, played for the Winnipeg Warriors, and now says goodbye at least for tonight. The fans file out of the Winnipeg Arena, and I can only say that it has been an unbelievably emotional evening here in Winnipeg. No matter how tough you are, to see Thomas Steen at the end of the game almost in tears. Winnipeg Jet his whole career, it has been emotional. We should know tomorrow, one way or the other, whether the Winnipeg Jets will be staying here. Barry Shankro commented earlier saying he has no comment until tomorrow. He will talk to his partners, and we will know less than 24 hours what happens to the Jets. We will be back to wrap things up from the Winnipeg Arena, where the Winnipeg Jets finished out their 1995 season with a loss 2-1 to the Los Angeles Kings. We say almost a goodbye after this. MTS, all other games around the National Hockey League are finals. Philadelphia did not need Eric Lindros tonight in shutting out and shutting down the New York Islanders. The New York Rangers, in a bit of a surprise, were upset by Florida, who are out of the playoffs and have been for the past couple of games. Pittsburgh taking on Washington. Jaromir Jagr had 2, so did Peter Bondra. He leads the league in goal scoring. As for our final score here in Winnipeg, Curry on the power play and Rob Blake held out for a 2-1 win over Winnipeg. You are now up to date on the NHL Tonight, courtesy of MTS. We will be back to wrap things up on Molson Jets Hockey on CKND.
This is a test lab, unlike any other. The company that created it doesn't come here to watch if their products pass. They come here to watch them fail. Because when your goal is engineering automobiles to deliver the ultimate in durability, one company believes you never know what is enough until you know what is more than enough. The company is General Motors.
Taking care of the trees, climbing around trees, it's pretty rewarding. I like to think that I give 110% service. I go the extra mile. My Advantage 800 number gets me in the door, and after that point, it's up to me. Business has increased about 60% with the Advantage 800 number, rather than just on weekends going out with me and my brother doing little jobs. Now it's a 6-day-a-week operation.
Play Safeway's Score and Win. With a Jet Score, you could win a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven with sensor cooking controls, a 20-piece set of Mikasa fine china in the currents pattern, the home essentials from T-Pal, or Dirt Devil vacuums from Royal Appliance. You could also win a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays. Safeway's participating products, Nabob ground roasted coffee, and Hostess Sun Chips. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
What are you doing there?
Today's world of beers, Molson Dry's in a world all its own.
Tonight's Safeway Score and Win grand prize winner will receive a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, where you and a guest will spend 7 glorious days on the sun-drenched beaches at the Caravel Beach Club, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Tonight's grand prize winner is Mr. Rolly Matheson of Winnipeg, who entered Score and Win by attaching a proof of purchase from Bel Air Orange Juice. Fill out a ballot at your local Safeway. Watch the Jets right here on CKND. Score and Win at Safeway, today's better way. We have one winner in our Safeway Score and Win contest. His name is Mr. John Livingstone. John has won Stulton's gourmet collection of fine kitchen appliances. Well, it has been a crazy night here at the Winnipeg Arena. We hope it is not the last night for NHL hockey here in Winnipeg. Barry Shankro earlier this evening commenting that he will make an official comment tomorrow, and the emotional roller coaster will end one way or the other, we hope, positively, and that would mean the Jets staying in Winnipeg. As for myself, it has been my first year on Molson Jets hockey on CKND Winnipeg TV. A thank you to my boss and bosses for giving me this opportunity. John Garrett said it earlier. There are some great people we work with. Molson Breweries, our sponsors. Mostar Communications, Eddie Milliken, our producer. He's been great. And Eddie, I said it just the way you wrote it. Our director, John Sapala, and the whole crew has been great through this hockey season here for the Winnipeg Jets. We hope and expect that we will be back next year for another hockey season. This one may be more successful. We will know the full details tomorrow, and a minor plug, you can catch it all on CKND Winnipeg TV. That is it for us from the Winnipeg Arena for this season. Good night, and have yourselves a great summer. Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you by Molson Special Dry, a world without aftertaste. The executive producer of tonight's game was Ron Harrison. Produced by Ed Milliken, the director John Zapala, and production manager Tim Jones.
Show on this or any other planet. Seinfeld. Only on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Round around your love is gold. Ain't nobody
went in. They talked to General Manager John Paddock, and they came out. They gave away their sticks. They shook hands with the fans. There's a lot of warmth. There's always been a lot of warmth between the Jets and the community, and you saw it on the ice at the Winnipeg Arena. The question is, after 16 seasons, as they wave goodbye, will they be waving goodbye for the last time? We certainly hope not.
The highlight of the night is brought to you by Nissan, built for the human race.
Dean is on assignment. Tonight, wall-to-wall coverage on the Winnipeg Jets as this city's NHL franchise teeters on the brink of distinction. Well, the Jets season is over, wrapping up the most eventful year in league and franchise history. And through all the meetings, announcements, and deadlines, we are still no closer to a decision on the franchise's future. Today, a group from the federal government, headed up by Lloyd Axworthy, sat down with Commissioner Gary Bettman, Jets President Barry Shenkarow, and Marcel Lebeau from the Quebec Nordiques. All were in Ottawa to discuss the future of small-market Canadian franchises. The people of Winnipeg waited for some direction. Would the Jets be saved? The final word either way did not materialize. Barry Shenkarow hopped on a plane from Ottawa and returned for the second period of tonight's game and addressed the media, and it was not pretty.
The deal as the option has expired, so whatever deal that was there is past. I have to speak to my partners. I have to, I think, give a courtesy to and see if anybody else has any other ideas or any more money tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. But until I speak to my partners and to the province and the city and representatives of the business community, I won't make any further comments. No, don't read I want to anything. I want to keep the team in Winnipeg, and I'd really appreciate it if you don't try to read anything into what I'm saying except exactly what I'm saying. The NHL needs to know what's happening to the Winnipeg Jets quickly, because they need to do a lot of things. They need to do a schedule. They need to know what the merchandise, what the name of the team is going to be. We have 25 partners in this business, and there's no guarantee that even if tomorrow we went to the league for approval, that they would approve it. We are supposed to advise the league of a move in November for the following year. So, although I think that, my partners in the league do understand the situation, there's, again, no guarantees of anything. I have to speak to people tomorrow. I've spent a very hectic 3 days, and, right now, I wouldn't say that I would be very optimistic about the outcome of what's happening.
Joining us now on Sportsline live from the arena is Sports Director Joe Piscucci. And Joe, you were at that meeting in the second intermission. What's your take on what's going on?
Well, first of all, Darren, I think you could tell that it was a tired-looking Barry Shenkarow who addressed the media in that second intermission. I think it's been a long, not just week, not just last few months, but let's say the last 4 years on this process of trying to keep the Jets here in Winnipeg. And Barry has been saying the warning signs for years, and eventually it's come to the point now that the Jets will be gone. I think by listening to his comments, I think you could sense that it was desperation for Barry. I don't think there's anyone that's going to step forward tomorrow and bring more money to the table. And I think once Barry meets with Premier Philman, Susan Thompson, and the MAC group, that they're going to come out of that meeting and announce that they cannot keep the Jets here in Winnipeg.
Maybe one of the most startling statements to come out of that press conference is the fact that Barry Shenkarow could not publicly say that he could guarantee MEC or any other group the $32 million price tag that he was promised to and held to before.
Well, the $32 million price tag has been there, as Barry said, for the last 4 years. No one in this city stepped forward to buy out the 64% owned by the private owners. No one, as Gary Bettman has likened to say in the last couple of days, no one in Winnipeg has deep enough pockets to subsidize this hockey team and keep them here in Winnipeg. And hopefully tonight and hopefully in the next few days, when it becomes really official that the Jets will no longer be here, that Barry Shenkarow isn't painted as the bad person in all of this, the bad guy who sold out the hockey team to U.S. interests. Barry has done his best, let's say, in the last 10 more years to keep NHL hockey here in Winnipeg, but there comes a time when you have to let go. And tonight was likely the night, and I think Barry knows it, and I think the other private owners of the team know that they cannot keep NHL hockey. They cannot keep the Jets here in Winnipeg any longer.
Noticeably absent today, the Manitoba Entertainment Complex and John Lavin.
John Lavin, the MEC group, issued a short statement today by fax and basically said we have no comment to make until we talk with the parties that talked with Federal Minister Lloyd Axworthy, and they will have something to say tomorrow. They're going to meet with Barry Shankrow and Premier Philman and Susan Thompson, but I think it's a done deal. The Jets are gone, unless the province is willing to come to the table with more money, maybe even gambling money. But in the past, I think Gary Philman has been adamant about that there'll be no more increased gambling money or gambling VLTs in the province. And I just don't think there's enough money to keep the team here.
Okay, thanks, Joe. We will check in with you later in the show. Now, as for hockey end of things in Winnipeg's franchise tonight, 1979, CKND Television brought the people of Manitoba the sights and sounds of the Jets' first ever National Hockey League game. The opponent was Pittsburgh. The site, also the Igloo in Pittsburgh. Tonight, 16 years later, CKND once again went to the air with the Jets as Winnipeg faced a desperate team from Los Angeles. But tonight, the feeling much, much different. Those at the arena and watching on television were left to wonder if they were witnesses to the death of pro hockey in Winnipeg. Those on hand at the arena tonight brought signs, held banners, everything they could to hold up their support for Jet hockey in Winnipeg. Possibly the final time Wayne Gretzky plays at the Winnipeg Arena. His Kings trying to focus on a playoff spot. They need 2 victories. Kings' first shot, this a positive sign for Los Angeles. Pat Conacher sets up Yari Curry, 1-0 Los Angeles. No coasting by the Eliminator Jets, who mauled Kelly Rudy. Kelly Rudy stones Timo Solani, then Alexei Zhamnov stopped on the doorstep. Dallas Drake, 2-on-1, Chris King. King's been hot lately, but he cannot get it over. The fallen netminder Darryl Fedor cleans up the mess. Once again, no bounces tonight for the Jets. Rob Blake pass to Gretzky, Opkin telling in, 2 shots, 2 goals, 2-0. Jets undone. Solani leads it 3-on-2. Over to Zhamnov, sure goal, but Rudy stacks the pads and shuts the door. Jeff Brown gets the puck at the point. Big slap shot. Rudy to save. Mike Eastwood can't get the puck to go. 2-0 after a period. The Jets continue to go to the goal. Timo Solani spots Randy Gillen, and yes, fittingly, the Winnipeg boy scores the Jets' first goal tonight, his 5th of the year. It's 2-1. Kings played it like a playoff game. Rob Blake crunches Eastwood into the board. Late third. Kings looking for some insurance. Gretzky on Cheveldae has the netminer beat, but Cheveldae lays down the stick, comes up with a huge save, and with only seconds to go, the fans get on their feet, cheering the Jets to the equalizer.
It goes to Solani, 11 seconds. To Zhamnov, shot. It's ready for Newman. Now goes Eastwood. Solani. Eastwood again. Fired the shot. 3 seconds. And the Kings come up with it. Zhamnov plants it wide. The game is over. And so is the season for the Winnipeg Jets. The Los Angeles Kings live to fight another day.
The season ends for the Winnipeg Jets with a 2-1 loss. Dejected, the players left the ice. Thomas Dean's expression needs no description. But even though the game was over, the fans stayed, and they cheered, and they demanded an encore, and the Jet players came out, and they saluted what many call the best fans in the National Hockey League. The players came out, saluted the fans returned the favor to the players. Everybody wondering if this was the final game for the Winnipeg Jets in Manitoba. Nelson Emerson handed out sticks. The players waved to the fans. Winnipeg ends the 1995 schedule with a 2-1 loss. Randy Gillen scores the last Winnipeg Jet goal. Maybe. It's a trivia question. Jets outshoot the Kings 42-13 on an emotional night for everyone, fans, coaches, and especially the players.
Stefan, was that one of the toughest games to play?
Well, yeah, it was kind of hard. I thought we played pretty well. We play hard. I guess Rudy had a good game. One of the things I like the most about the games is the fans came out and supported us. That was really nice.
I mean, today we were just hockey players trying to, regroup our thoughts and then put the best game on the ice we could. And, we played pretty hard.
Chris, we talked earlier today. There weren't that many passengers out there tonight. A lot of the players came to play.
No, it's a good character bunch of guys. Obviously, we fell short again in and our expectations were high early, and we didn't meet them, but I thought everybody showed a lot of class in playing as hard as they could on a night when we had nothing to gain.
It's just too bad this type of situation has to come up like that. But you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it'll turn around, and we'll see what happens. But it was great to see them come out and give us the support they did. They were wanting us to come back out, and they've been here all year when it hasn't been going that good. It's been going good lately, but it hasn't been good all year. And the fact that we had 15,000 people here tonight cheering hard, I wanted to at least let some take home the stick anyway.
Randy, at the end of the game, it looked like you were looking for the puck.
I did go look for the puck. I don't know where it went, and I tried to go get it. And I don't know who has it or what they did with it, but I wanted to get the puck and just keep it for. I wanted to give the puck to Barry there. I think he's done a great job here, and it would have been a nice memento for him.
An historic night in Winnipeg. The standings in that race for 8th. Winnipeg is eliminated, but Los Angeles, with their victory tonight, remains alive. Another one tomorrow night against Chicago, and the Kings and Wayne Gretzky are in the playoffs. Okay, the Gull Harbor giveaway continues. We will take names throughout tonight's show, but first we're looking for a trivia answer. Tonight's question: who did the Winnipeg Jets play in their very first game? This for a T-shirt, a hat, and maybe a baseball from Harvall Sports. 780-1234 is the number to call if you know the city and the nickname of the Jets' opponent. There's a bit of a hint for you. Coming up next at Sportsline, what went wrong? Loaded with millionaires and big-time talent, the Jets couldn't pull it together to qualify for the postseason. We have John Paddock standing by at the arena with all the answers. Jets failed to qualify for the greatest tournament in the world. We now go back out to the arena and rejoin Joe Piscucci, who has tracked down the man who may be able to give us those answers of why the Jets didn't qualify for the playoffs.
Well, thank you very much, Darren. Yes, Jets General Manager John Paddock joins me now. And, John, first of all, a comment on tonight, the atmosphere at the end of the game. It was quite special if this is to be the last game the Jets play in Winnipeg.
Well, it was. It was an emotional night for everybody, for the players, for the organization, and for the fans coming in. And it was sort of like the Chicago or the United Center last night. They can't quite replace the stadium more, but they did a good job. And this wasn't quite a playoff noise at the start, but it was pretty close. And it was tremendous, that part. And let's hope they have another opportunity to do it here sometime.
This game was kind of a microcosm of the season. For the most part, in the last half of the season, the Jets put in a good effort, but always came out on the short end of the scoreboard, especially when you outshot teams.
Yeah, I guess that goes to show you that shots aren't always indicative of play and stuff. I thought tonight, Kelly Rudy was truly the difference when you have that big of margin of shots on goal. It was a microism, but I don't think you don't get anything for being close, and obviously there's something wrong within the hockey team, within the walls of that dressing room, to always be close but not coming up with anything.
Obviously, you're going to be studying that issue in the next few weeks, in the next few months, and make some changes before next season, whether you're here or somewhere else.
Yes, we would like to. We've talked about it a lot during the season. We've made some changes at deadline, and Terry and I and Randy have, continued to talk about it, and I think we have, if it's a positive, and I hope it is, a more well-rounded aspect. We're not just somebody looking at it from above and somebody looking at it from the dressing room. We've sort of all rotated and switched views here a little bit. Randy didn't see our team much during the course of the season, but we have a pretty well-rounded view, and I don't think we differ too much on what this hockey team needs, and right now the direction that we would aim to try and improve it.
What's your gut feeling? Can the Jets still be saved for the city of Winnipeg?
Well, I think they could be, but it obviously have to be a very special deal, and all the reports, through your outlets, the media outlets, do not have it looking very good. I can only hope that it's like our hockey team this year. When we were down, seemingly out of it, like last Wednesday or Thursday going to Detroit, we bounced back. When we had a chance to move ahead, we would fall back. So I hope it's one of those cases where it does not look good, and something happens and we move ahead.
Well, John Paddock, it is going to be an interesting day tomorrow, and we hope that the news is good when Barry Shankro meets with the Premier and Susan Thompson and the MEC members. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, John Paddock, General Manager of the Winnipeg Jets, joining us. Now let's bring in Gene Principe. Gene, your thoughts on tonight's game? You were hosting our broadcast, and there was quite a lot of emotion among the fans and the players and everyone.
Have we told the Gretzky story yet?
We haven't not told the Gretzky story. About the puck, you have the honor.
Let's tell the Gretzky story. Game was over. Kerry Fraser obviously had the puck towards the end of the game when the final buzzer went. Wayne Gretzky asked him for the puck and received the puck. Well, once the Jets found that out, they were quite perturbed and said to Mr. Gretzky, "We want the puck back." Now, we've been told, actually John Paddock just told us off camera, that his agent Mike Barnett is expected to send the puck to Winnipeg, like we'll get that puck. I'm sure that'll end up on a mantle on Wayne Gretzky's
The real puck, yeah. Now, why would Wayne Gretzky go after the puck when Randy Gillen was obviously there, a close second, and why wouldn't Kerry Fraser say who had the puck? It's so outrageous. I'm losing my thoughts here, but the fans were tremendous tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I came here from Alberta and came here as an Edmonton Oilers fan, and tonight, especially watching Thomas Steen, I mean, that hurt emotionally to watch Thomas Steen, a man who's given everything. He's given his health to this city and to the Winnipeg Jets, to be in tears. I talked to him after the game and just said, thank you for who you've been and what you've done with us and for us. And he was holding back his tears constantly this evening. Just want to reiterate, you mentioned the governments tomorrow. We talked earlier this week on Sportsline. Peter Pocklington held a gun to the government's head and said, if you want us to stay, you got to give us this. That is the situation tomorrow. I'm not saying Barry Shankerow's got a gun out and saying that, but basically the governments have to step in and all three levels, build a building, let Barry run it, as I think you maybe have mentioned or will mention it, and that's the way they'll stay. Otherwise, it just does not look overly positive.
All right, maybe gambling money is the way to do it. Well, that is the story from here tonight. Darren, an emotional night for the Jets as they lose it 2-1. Of course, it's a big day tomorrow, and we'll be on top of this story first in the afternoon with our news updates, and at 6 o'clock at CKND News. For now, let's send it right back to you.
Okay, thanks, guys. We are not done with this story yet. We will continue to bring you up to date on the happenings from the Winnipeg Arena, as well salute the Winnipeg Jets. But coming up next on Sportsline, we head down the highway a little bit. Some good news from the hockey rink. The Brandon Wheat Kings looking for a 3-0 lead against the Kamloops Blazers in the Western Hockey League Championship Final.
$110 million. A huge expense, says the NHL, if there's no guarantee the new owners will keep the team in Winnipeg.
At least in Winnipeg, there's no new building yet, and there's nobody who's prepared to stand behind the team and operate it on a long-term basis and be prepared to assume whatever risk comes.
The Jets aren't alone. The owner of the Quebec Nordique was at the same meeting. He says he's looking for a miracle, but there weren't any miracles in Ottawa to prevent the great Canadian game from going to the United States. Rosemary Thompson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Some other news in brief tonight. Brandon, it's a feeling of celebration. Western Hockey League's Wheat Kings Joe Piscucci offers us a look back at professional hockey in Winnipeg and the Winnipeg Jets.
The Winnipeg Jets took flight in 1972 as the realization of Benny Hatskin's dream to provide an alternative to the NHL. In Winnipeg, Hatskin built the WHA on the cornerstone of Bobby Hull, who became a millionaire when he signed with the Jets. Hull gave the league credibility and opened the door to many other top-caliber players for whom there wasn't room in the NHL. Benny Hatskin was a deal-maker, risk-taker, and a fighter. In the early years of the WHA, he spent more time in courts fighting the NHL than he did in rinks. The WHA, however, sank roots, and in Winnipeg, the Jets began a tradition. A tradition of conflict with the NHL had also begun, with each league coveting the other's players, often through bitter litigation. Financially troubled from the start, what the WHA lacked in resources, it made up for with a colorful and pioneering on-ice product. Amidst constant rumors of NHL mergers, franchise bankruptcies, and Save the Jet campaigns, Bobby Hull and his teammates proved that the NHL did not have exclusivity on exciting hockey. '74 was a milestone in North American hockey. The Jets dipped into a virtually untapped European talent pool, and with the signing of Anders Hedberg and Ulf Nielsen, opened the eyes of traditionalists to an international caliber of hockey. That was also the year Bobby Hull broke Phil Esposito's single-season goal-scoring record, with 77 in 78 games. While constant feuding with the NHL and changes of ownership plagued the Winnipeg Jets, the magic moments continued in 1978. Bobby Hull scored his 1,000th career goal against Quebec. Anders Hedberg became the first professional hockey player to score 50 goals in less than 50 games. And the Jets won their second Avco Cup. The following season marked a change in eras for the Jets. Bobby Hull retired from the game. And ironically, the man who wooed Hedberg and Nielsen to New York became the general manager. The NHL again rejected a merger proposal. But this time, fans fought back with a threatened boycott of corporations active in the NHL. Eventually, the merger was accepted. And for the Jets, their last season in the WHA would bring another championship. In 1979, Benny Hatskin's dream and the Jets made it to the show.
Scores! Number 14, Peter Mars.
The NHL Jets saw measures of both success and failure on and off the ice. And although the holy grail of hockey has not yet been captured in Winnipeg, the exploits of Jet heroes live forever, vividly in the minds and hearts of Winnipeg fans.